Chapter 3685. 3 days later, he finally landed on a mountain peak. Standing at the peak of the mountain, Di Ling looked into the distance. Tens of thousands of miles away was Lin Xian. He did not get too close. There was someone else beside him. It was not Shinjingqiu. Di Ling was a little surprised. He noticed that there was a girl beside Lin Xian. She was a purple-haired girl who was extremely beautiful. She was someone he had never seen before. No matter who you are, since you're with that kid, you should go to hell with him. The murderous intent in Di Ling's eyes appeared again. He took out the black gourd and clenched his fist. With a flicker of his body, he executed a secret technique and began to move stealthily. In front of him, under an ancient tree, Lin Xian and Li Hongxiu sat there to rest. They had already obtained the 6th piece and were 3 more pieces away from completing the mission. Lin Xian was looking forward to it. Li Hongxiu said, "So you're from Wushuang City." Wushuang City was not a bad place. The two of them chatted. Suddenly, they frowned at the same time and turned to look into the distance. Someone was there. "Umph," Li Hongxiu sneered. "Someone dares to follow me." Lin Xian also frowned and a trace of golden light appeared in his eyes. "Di Ling, that guy still dared to come?" He stood up and said, "He's coming for me." Was he exposed? Di Ling frowned. He did not have much hope. He knew that Lin Xian's eye technique was very powerful. Buzz. He stopped and threw out the black gourd. "Kid, go to hell." The black gourd streaked across the sky like black lightning and attacked Lin Xian and Li Hongxiu. Lin Xian frowned. What is Di Ling doing? Why is he attacking from so far away? He felt that something was not right. However, before he could say anything, Li Hongxiu snorted and threw out a palm strike. The 7-colored law slashed down like a sharp knife. It hit the black gourd. With a clang, the black gourd was split in half. I thought it was an expression. I didn't expect it to be a broken gourd. Li Hongxiu curled her lips in disdain. However, in the next moment, her expression changed. Lin Xian also frowned. Not good, retreat quickly. The two of them quickly retreated, but it was too late. A green mist appeared from the black gourd and flew towards them. In an instant, it enveloped them. Damn it, this is poison. Hurry up and defend yourself. Lin Xian roared. It didn't take long for the poisonous mist to seep into his body, weakening his strength. His internal organs were on the verge of being infected. Not good. Lin Xian's expression changed drastically. What kind of poison was this? It was too terrifying. His god body couldn't withstand it. He instantly stopped. Then he quickly circulated the great dragon sword soul to attack his body. They turned into streaks of sword chi to destroy the poisonous gas. On the other side, Li Hongxiu also felt the poisonous gas entering her body. She also came to a halt. Damn it. It was corpse poison, and it was the poison of an ancient sage corpse. How dare you plot against me? She was furious. In the distance, when Di Ling saw this, he raised his head to the sky and laughed. Ha 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 ha, success. From the looks of it, they must have been poisoned. Once they were poisoned, they couldn't resist at all. It wouldn't be long before they turned into a pool of blood. Thinking of this, he proudly strode forward. In a few steps, he arrived nearby. Seeing the two of them struggling in the green poisonous mist with black faces, Di Ling laughed even more happily. Lin Xian said as he used the great dragon sword soul to expel the poison. This person came for me. I didn't expect to implicate you. How are you? Are you okay? I'll help you after I expel the poison. Unexpectedly, Li Hongxiu said. No, I was worried about you. Since you're fine, I don't have to worry about you. Don't worry, I'll help you deal with this person. Li Hongxiu shouted. The 5-colored light in her body burst out and directly expelled the poison. Boom. Li Hongxiu exploded. Like a peerless goddess, she slapped her jade-like hand forward. In an instant, it enveloped Di Ling. To be honest, Di Ling didn't expect this woman to be able to fight back. In his opinion, the two of them were definitely going to die, so he didn't think of defending at all. With a boom, he was sent flying. With a miserable cry, he was sent flying while spurting blood. Damn it! Di Ling roared and rushed over. He wanted to attack, but he was slapped to the ground. Li Hongxia's strength was beyond his imagination. Di Ling staggered and fell to the ground. Half of his body was broken. His face was full of horror. Lin Xian was also stunned. Damn, this girl is so strong? To be honest, he didn't expect this. One had to know that even though he didn't place the Imperial Mausoleum in his eyes, it wouldn't be that easy to defeat the Imperial Mausoleum. At least, it was impossible to defeat him in a few moves. However, Li Hongxiu did it easily. This woman was too terrifying. Even Di Ling found her. Damn it. With a roar, he turned around and fled. Anyway, Lin Xian was already poisoned. It was useless for him to stay here. Moreover, the woman in front of him was too terrifying. It made his hair stand on end. He even felt that this woman was more terrifying than the 100-eyed demon sage. You take your time to expel the poison. Oh, go after him. He dared to trick me. Oh, make him pay the price. Li Hongxiu said in a low voice. Her body turned into a stream of 7-colored light and rushed out instantly. Not long after, Ling's scream could be heard from afar. Damn it, I'll fight it out with you. Di Ling opened his mouth and spat out a coffin. The corpse of the ancient sage rushed out from the coffin. So what if the opponent was strong? Could it be that the opponent was a minor saint? As long as it wasn't a minor saint, he could fight back. Although summoning the corpse of the ancient sage put a lot of pressure on him, he couldn't care less. You still have the corpse of the ancient sage? But do you think you can do anything to me? Li Hongxiu attacked aggressively. The corpse of the ancient sage was forced to retreat. Many handprints appeared on the corpse's powerful body. Di Ling was going crazy. Who is she? She's too terrifying. The corpse of the ancient sage could fight against a minor saint. Run. He didn't dare to stay any longer. He rode the bronze coffin and quickly fled. Li Hongxiu attacked again. On the other side, although Lin Xian was poisoned, the great dragon sword spirit was very powerful. It quickly eliminated the poison. Then his body was covered with dragon-shaped sword chi. He walked out of the green poison mist. Damn it. Di Ling was so insidious. Lin Xian's face turned cold as well. Even a saint of the 5th heaven would die from this poison. Fortunately, he had the great dragon sword spirit. But Di Ling's fate must be very miserable. With Li Hongxiu chasing after him, he would be severely injured even if he didn't die. He opened the Great Sage Pagoda and took out the Heavenly Luo umbrella. The soul mark on the Heavenly Luo umbrella had been removed by the starry flame. He put his own mark on it. Then he activated the Heavenly Luo umbrella and collected all the poison. Although half of it had been consumed, there was still half left. It was enough. It was also a great weapon for Lin Xian. Chapter 3686. It was a blessing in disguise. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Let's go. He was not worried about Li Hongxiu. That girl was much scarier than him. She would probably be able to deal with a real small saint. Lin Xian went on his way again, looking for the 7th Eastern Spirit Stone. At this moment in the rain, Shen Jingqiu stood there with a solemn expression. Around her, there were many sages. There were demonic beasts, humans, and even killing intent in the void from time to time. It seemed that she was being besieged. Girl, hand over the treasures on you and I can spare your life. You're quite pretty. Accompany me for a year. I happen to be lacking a cauldron. You can follow me. A few sneers were heard. They stared at Shen Jingqiu, their eyes burning. Such a peerless beauty was definitely rare. Shen Jingqiu snorted coldly. Her exquisite face was covered with ice. She did not say anything, but decisively made her move. A purple cloud appeared on her body, carrying the law. It was very small. At the same time, her jade-like hands formed a seal. On her palm, the purple aura became stronger and stronger, like a purple sun. This was a great ability called the Purple Light Dao Flower. You still want to fight? Take her down and we'll enjoy it together. One of them shouted angrily. Lightning surged on his body to resist the Purple Light Dao Flower. At the same time, there were 2 demon saints. With their strong physiques, they fought the purple cloud. A sonorous sound rang out, and the battle erupted. Although she was being besieged, Shen Jingqiu did not fall into a disadvantage for a while. The surrounding people were shocked. It seemed that she was a genius. So what? One of them sneered. Terrifying flames bloomed on his body. This was a fiery divine bird with a human head. The flames on his body were very terrifying. He slapped out with his claws, carrying monstrous flames that covered a part of the world. Shin Jingqiu shouted. She pushed her jade-like hand forward. The law on it was incomparable. She was going to face the opponent's flame head-on. At the same time, she pulled out a sunrise sword with her left hand and slashed in all directions. Boom. Boom. The earth trembled and the void collapsed. Those people were unable to succeed for a while. There were even a few sages who were sent flying. The scene was very shocking. Damn it. At this time, a ray of light shone in the sky, piercing toward Shin Jingqi's back. Shin Jingqiu felt cold all over. Not good. She quickly dodged, but the dagger still pierced her shoulder. Fresh blood flowed out, dyeing her long dress red. There was a killer. Shin Jingqiu hurriedly sealed her wound, and was extremely vigilant at the same time. She didn't expect that there would be assassins hiding in the void. That's great, this little girl is injured. Let's see how she's going to fight now. These people were sinister as they took action again. These people carried the laws of heaven and earth as they continuously attacked. Even the hidden assassins attacked again. Shin Jingqiu shouted and activated her spirit body. Purple light burst out from her eyes, and her body was also covered in a layer of radiance. The energy from all directions quickly surged into her body, and her cultivation continued to soar. In an instant, he had reached the fourth heavenly layer, and it was still increasing. It even showed signs of increasing towards the fifth heaven. Damn it, what's going on? There's something wrong with this woman. Quickly stop her, she's using a secret technique. The surrounding sages went crazy. They had never seen this kind of cultivation increase in their lives. In the sky, 2 rays of sword light slashed onto Shin Jingqi's body, causing Shin Jingqiu to retreat. Only then did she stop the increase in her cultivation. Now, she had reached the late stage of the fourth heavenly layer. Just this cultivation alone was the same as Di Ling. This made the surrounding people's hair stand on end. It's too scary. Fortunately, we have more people and can join forces to take her down. We must find out the secret of this sudden increase in cultivation. These people's eyes were red. If they could master this kind of magical power, who would be their opponent in future battles? Shin Jingqiu shouted. After her cultivation increased, her strength increased a lot, so with one palm, she sent the 2 sages flying, and their bodies exploded. For a moment, the surrounding people were terrified. However, Shin Jingqiu wasn't too happy, because the 2 assassins hiding in the dark were really too strange. It was impossible for her to guard against them. If it weren't for these 2 assassins, she would have defeated the surrounding people long ago. Another sword came at her from a strange angle, aiming for her neck. Shin Jingqiu shouted and slapped out with her palm, dodging quickly at the same time. The sword missed, and her palm also missed. That assassin's movement technique was too strange. However, her cultivation had increased after all. Just her aura alone was enough to send that assassin flying. Blood flowed down from the sky, but Shin Jingqi's situation wasn't optimistic either. The other assassin also attacked suddenly, leaving another wound on her body. Lin Xian had been rushing. The 7th East Spirit Stone should be in front of him. He was a little excited. However, at this moment his brows suddenly twitched. There were sounds of fighting, and there were quite a few people. He used his magical power and looked forward. In the next moment he was stunned, and his face completely darkened. With a roar, he turned into a peerless sword light and rushed over. Little girl, you can't hold on any longer, right? Be a good girl and surrender. You can suffer less. Don't struggle. Although you have a secret technique, you're no match for so many of us. Moreover, there are assassins in the dark. You're already an arrow at the end of its flight. Don't worry, when we catch you later, we won't torture you. We'll take good care of you. These people laughed out loud. However, just as they finished laughing, their heads exploded. Blood splattered on the faces of the surrounding people. Who was it? The surrounding people screamed crazily, and the hair on their bodies stood on end. Shin Jingqiu was also stunned. Did someone come to save her? In the next moment, she saw a figure appear in front of her. That person's body was covered in a monstrous golden light, and his eyes were filled with piercing killing intent. He punched out and directly smashed a sage into pieces. The surrounding people's expressions all changed. Who was this person? Wasn't he too strong? Big Brother Lin. Shen Jingqiu exhaled and heaved a sigh of relief. That's right, the person who came was indeed Lin Xian. He was here to look for the East Spirit Stone, but he did not expect to encounter Shen Jingqiu and be besieged. Therefore, he came over to kill her. It turned out that he was this woman's companion. Kill him. The surrounding people roared crazily and rushed forward. All of you must die. Lin Xian's expression was cold. He attacked wildly, and every attack injured someone. These sages frantically retreated. No, he's too strong. Damn it, who is this kid? Retreat quickly. These people looked terrified. Then at this moment, a ray of light lit up in the sky and pierced towards Lin Xian's back. Oh no, be careful, Big Brother Lin. There's an assassin. Shen Jingqiu screamed. However, it was already too late. The surrounding people sneered. Great, let this kid die. Chapter 3687. Once he's injured, I'll capture him and chop him into pieces. I'll make him wish he was dead. These people clutched at their wounds, their faces filled with malevolence. Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. Are there assassins? No wonder Qiu was injured. These assassins were too strange. Even he hadn't noticed them before. However, it wasn't that easy to kill him. He didn't even turn back. He continued to pursue the saints in front of him. Is this kid an idiot? Hurry up and kill him. The people in front kept retreating. At the same time, they were extremely agitated. They had met an idiot. He didn't even dodge the assassins. Let's see how he's going to die. With a clang, a killing sword slashed onto Lin Xian's body, producing a clanging sound. However, the frightening thing was that the flying sword was sent flying. Countless sparks flew, and the void shattered. Only a white mark was left on Lin Xian's body. It didn't pierce through at all. How is this possible? What kind of physique does this kid have? The surrounding sages were all stunned. The assassin in the void seemed to be stunned as well. He paused for a moment. Lin Xian took advantage of this opportunity. He turned around and kicked. His kick was like a heavenly knife. With a crack, the assassin's body was broken in half. A pitiful groan was heard. Fresh blood spurted. The assassin screamed. However, he was very decisive. He turned into a streak of flowing light and hid in the void again. Everyone was going crazy. This person was really too scary. Such a terrifying assassin couldn't even hurt him. Instead, he was severely injured by his opponent. Suddenly, they had the intention to retreat. At this moment, something strange happened. Another assassin charged towards Shen Jingqiu. Shen Jingqiu was still agitated. She didn't defend herself. She was stabbed in the back again. She almost fell into a pool of blood. When Lin Xian saw this, he was completely enraged. He stepped in front of Shen Jingqiu and hugged Shen Jingqiu. He stopped the bleeding. At the same time, his voice was emotionless and cold. His golden eyes looked in all directions. All of you can go to hell. He lifted his hand and unleashed the heavenly Luo umbrella. It bloomed in the air and sealed off the area. At the same time, the corpse poison inside started to flow out. Not good, run quickly. Screams rang out one after another as these people fought back madly. But very soon, screams of agony rang out. Such a terrifying poison was something they could not withstand at all. Even the two assassins were trapped. They frantically tried to break out of the encirclement, using their powerful movement techniques. However, the heavenly Luo umbrella was definitely a saint artifact. It would not be so easy to break out of the encirclement. As long as they breathed in a trace of the poisonous gas, they would undoubtedly die. Sure enough, the two assassins gradually stopped attacking. In front of him, a green poisonous gas lingered in the air, as cries of agony could be heard. However, Lin Xian ignored him completely. He lowered his head to look at Shen Jingqiu and asked, "Are your injuries serious?" "Don't worry, it's just some superficial wounds. It won't hurt my foundation." Shen Jingqiu shook her head and sat down cross-legged. She swallowed a medicinal pill and began to treat her injuries. Half a day later, she recovered and stood up. She asked, "What happened to those people?" Lin Xian said that they were probably all dead. He waved his hand and put away the heavenly Luo umbrella. The remaining poison was also collected by him into the heavenly Luo umbrella. The scene in front of him appeared. 7 corpses had fallen to the ground, and only bones were left. There were also some weapons and storage rings left behind. The flesh and blood of those people had long been gone, and their souls had been killed by the poison. It was too terrifying. Shinjingqiu was also surprised. Those were all powerful saints, but they couldn't be more dead. What kind of poison was that? Lin Xian took back all the weapons and storage rings of those people. He threw the storage rings to Shinjingqiu. Take it. These are your compensation. Then I want stand-on ceremony. She took them. As for the weapons, Lin Xian looked at them and found that they were useless, so he casually put them away. Brother Lin, where are we going next? Shinjingqiu picked up Little White and asked. On the other side, Lin Xian also summoned the earth demon demonic rat. This guy was very familiar with this place. Let's go and collect the East Spirit Stones. How many pieces have you collected? Lin Xian asked. 5 pieces. I have 7 pieces. Well, finish collecting soon. Next, the 2 of them went together and began to collect the East Spirit Stones. A month later, the 2 of them had collected all the East Spirit Stones. That's great. Lin Xian beamed with joy. He also raised a smile. Let's go to Dongling Mountain. We can go back. Do you think we'll be the first to arrive? That's for sure. Dongling Mountain was also very famous in the Eastern Spirit Realm. The 2 of them flew for 5 days and finally saw the mountains in front of them. The tallest one was Dongling Mountain. I've helped you complete your task. Can you let me go? The Earth Demon Demonic Rat asked carefully. Lin Xian was in a good mood. He said, yes. If there's a chance in the future, I can come here again. He removed the seal on the Earth Demon Demonic Rat and waved goodbye. The Earth Demon Demonic Rat also burrowed into the ground and disappeared. Let's go. Dongling Mountain is right in front of us. We don't need anyone to show us the way. Although it was right in front of them, it was still more than 200,000 miles away. When they were about 10,000 miles away, they were stopped again. There was a group of people in front of them. There were a total of 9 people, and they all had an extremely violent aura. They lined up in a straight line like a heavenly river, blocking the path. Who are you? Why are you blocking the way? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. A couple? The man opposite sneered. Kid, you're going to Dongling Mountain, right? Seems like you're here for the assessment. Hand over the East Spirit Stones obediently and get lost. We can spare your life. Robbery. Lin Xian frowned. Shinjingqiu reminded him softly. Be careful, Brother Lin. Their aura is very unusual. Indeed, the aura on these people was very violent. Didn't you hear what I said? A tall man walked out. Kid, I advise you not to make a mistake. Do you know who we are? We're from Thunder God City. Do you think you can survive in the second astral realm after provoking us? Kneel on the ground obediently and hand over the East Spirit Stones. Thunder God City? Lin Xian was stunned. Thunder God City was the same as Wushuang City. It was also a saint city. Lin Xian was no stranger to Thunder God City. When he was in the first astral realm, he had a conflict with Thunder God City. At that time, it was Lei Qianzhong who was killed by him. He didn't expect to meet people from Thunder God City again. Moreover, it was under such circumstances. This Thunder God City is really nothing. They're just doing some sneaky things. You have the nerve to call yourself a disciple of the Saint City. I think you haven't passed the assessment yet. Lin Xian sneered. What do you know, kid? We've passed the assessment long ago. We're here for the trial. The leader of the group stood out and said coldly. Kid, I just wanted you to kneel and hand over the East Spirit Stones. But now I've changed my mind. Not only do you have to hand over the East Spirit Stones, but you also have to leave your woman behind. Moreover, it'll teach you how to break your teeth one by one. Take him down. The moment the young man gave the order, the people beside him walked out. Chapter 3688. How dare you say that our boss is angry? Now you're dead meat. The person who walked out was a late-stage third heaven saint. He had a lightning blade on his back, and his powerful aura made people tremble. Buzz. The saint pulled out his lightning blade. With a slash of the blade, thunder rumbled in the sky, and a violent force filled the world. Lin Xian didn't care. He was just a late-stage third heaven saint. He didn't even care about a fourth heaven emperor mausoleum. Not to mention these people. With a cold snort he attacked. The golden fist and the opponent's lightning blade collided. It was as if there was a huge explosion between heaven and earth. The thunder-type saint's expression changed. He felt as if a mountain had crashed into him. His blade kept trembling. Even his entire arm was trembling violently. Damn it! With a roar, thunder exploded on his body, and the law of thunder surrounded him. His heart was filled with fear. His opponent's strength was beyond his imagination. How could an early-stage third heaven saint be so strong? He gathered his strength and wanted to explode again. However, the fist opposite him exploded first. Lin Xian's fist was full of power. After the first strike, the subsequent power surged forth and instantly shattered the lightning blade. Not only that, but one of the opponent's arms also exploded. With a blood-curdling scream, the lightning-type saint was sent flying. The people behind were completely stunned. Their powerhouse was defeated. He was defeated by someone whose cultivation was inferior to theirs. With such strength, you want to learn how to fight and rob others? Lin Xian's eyes were filled with disdain. Damn it, this kid is too strange. You trash, you can't even take care of an early-stage third heaven saint. The leader's face was incomparably cold. The injured person said, "Boss, you can't blame me. He's really too strong. He's very strong. Very strong? Looks like he's a close combat expert. We don't need to talk about morality. Just attack him." "Yes, boss." 2 more people walked out. These 2 people also had terrifying lightning on their bodies. One of them held a thunder hammer, while the other held a thunder heaven net. The 2 of them didn't say anything as they unleashed their full power. Terrifying thunder and lightning interweaved, covering the sky and covering the earth, wanting to completely envelop Lin Xian. In the face of such a terrifying lightning law, the golden light in Lin Xian's eyes exploded. It suddenly transformed into countless black Qilin runes, forming a black Qilin shield in front of him. All of the lightning bolts struck it, creating a deafening sound that sounded like 10,000 claps of thunder. The black Qilin's toughness was much tougher than expected. It blocked all the thunder attacks. Lin Xian attacked again. His golden eyes flickered with radiance, forming a vortex. Then, a headless knight rushed out, sweeping in all directions. The spear directly pierced through the 2 of them. Like candied haws on a stick, he stared at the void. Holy blood scattered down. The 2 individuals screamed miserably, their expressions horrified. The people of Thunder God City behind were also completely stunned. Was the other party so strong? Was he really just an early-stage third heavenly layer? Why did he look like a fourth heaven sage? "Damn brat, who the hell are you?" The young man in the lead gritted his teeth and asked. "You bunch of trash don't deserve to know my name." Lin Xian's voice was cold. "If you want to live, kneel down, kowtow and admit your mistakes. You're courting death. Don't be too arrogant. Attack together." The young man waved his hand, and the remaining 5 people all rushed over. Each of them was very powerful. Among them, 2 were in the late-stage third heavenly layer, and the remaining 3 were in the middle-stage third heavenly layer. Each of their cultivation was stronger than Lin Xian. At this moment, the 5 of them attacked together. How could they not take down the other party? Seeing this scene, Shen Jingqiu wanted to attack, but Lin Xian stopped her. He formed a seal with his palm, and a blue tide appeared. His eye technique attack released a green light wave that swept out. The 5 sages instantly hugged their heads and screamed. Their souls seemed to be about to explode, and they instantly lost their attacking power. Lin Xian sneered and attacked forcefully, chopping off the heads of the 5 people. Then he turned his head and stared at the person in the lead. The young man in the lead trembled and took 2 steps back. At this moment, his face was pale and he was extremely shocked. The other party instantly killed 5 sages on their side. "It was too unbelievable," he said. "You're very strong. This time, I admit defeat." After saying that, he turned around and wanted to leave. Lin Xian smiled. His figure flashed and appeared in front of the other party, blocking his path. "You want to leave just like that? Damn brat. What do you want?" The young man's face was gloomy. Lin Xian smiled. You want to kill me, but now that you've failed, you want to escape unscathed? Do you think that's possible? Could it be that you want to attack me? Do you know who I am? I know that you're from Thunder God City. It's not like I haven't killed you before. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. This scene made the other party's eyelids twitch wildly. This brat had killed people from Thunder God City before. Heavens, who is this person? Brat, listen carefully. I'm not from an ordinary holy city. My brother is Lei Chong. He's a top genius of Thunder God City. My brother's strength has reached level 5. It's definitely not something you can imagine. If you dare to touch me, you're dead. The young man's mouth was filled with a cold smile. His identity was indeed not ordinary. After hearing his words, the other party still didn't obediently apologize to him. However, Lin Xian said, "Oh, are you done? If you're done, you can go on your way." A sword light flashed across his hand. Damn it, you dare. The young man's face changed wildly. How could there be such a person? Was he not afraid of his brother's revenge? He wanted to escape, but how could he be Lin Xian's opponent? He was split into two by the sword. His soul escaped. However, it was quickly locked onto by the heavenly secret god eyes and pulled into the locking spring and autumn. Not only him, the souls of the surrounding people were all pulled into the locking spring and autumn. They experienced 10,000 years of miserable reincarnation. Then they were completely destroyed. Brother Lin is too powerful. Xinjingqiu cheered. At this moment, on the corpse of the leading young man, a jade pendant floated out. An extremely strong mental wave came from inside. Who is it? How dare you kill my brother? That soul transformed into a human face, but it had just formed. It was shattered by Lin Xian with a slap. A mere level 5. How dare you be arrogant in front of me? Next, he burned all of these people's corpses and took away all of their storage rings. Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu once again headed towards Dongling Mountain. Within a cave dwelling within Dongling Mountain, a figure stood up abruptly and roared towards the heavens. Who dares to hurt my brother? I will definitely tear you into pieces. Thunder on this person's body turned into thunder beasts, bobbing up and down above his head. The people in the surrounding cave also came out and asked, Senior Brother Lei Chong, what's going on? These people were all from Thunder God City. They looked at the angry Lei Chong with a face full of shock. This was their sacred city's top genius. Who dared to provoke him? Chapter 3689. Something might have happened to my brother. He might have been killed by someone. Lei Chong said coldly, scaring the surrounding people. How is that possible? It's true. I can sense it. Hurry down the mountain and find my brother's body. At the same time, the others were looking for anyone who had come to the mountain recently. If there's anyone suspicious, report it to me immediately. Who dared to kill my brother? I will make him pay a painful price. In an instant, a storm was stirred up in Dongling Mountain. Many people knew that Lei Chong's brother had been killed. This was really unbelievable. Lei Chong was a peak genius of the Thunder God City. His younger brother was also from the Thunder God City. Someone actually dared to kill someone from Thunder God City. Did they want to die? Everyone was discussing. Many people even guessed that it might have been done by the native demonic beasts of the East Spirit world. However, the people of Thunder God City knew that it wasn't. Especially Lei Chong. He firmly believed that it must have been done by other martial artists. Because he was very clear about what his brother had done. He had robbed people who were passing by at a place 100,000 miles away from Dongling Mountain. This kind of behavior couldn't possibly anger demonic beasts. The ones who had to walk were martial artists passing by. Don't let me catch you. Otherwise, I will tear you into pieces. Lei Chong's face was incomparably cold. On the other side, Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu didn't know that their actions had caused a small storm in Dongling Mountain. Even if they knew, Lin Xian would probably do the same. After all, those people from Thunder God City, who dared to have ideas about them, were simply courting death. When they entered Dongling Mountain, Xinjingqiu was surprised. Why were there so many guards here? No, why did their aura seem a little like Thunder God Cities? Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He transmitted his voice to Qiu'er. Be careful. Don't mention anything about our relationship with Thunder God City. The two of them walked over. During this time, the martial artists from Thunder God City glanced at the two of them. However, they quickly ignored them. Because of the two of them, Shen Jingqiu was at the late stage of the third heaven while Lin Xian was at the early stage of the third heaven. They weren't that eye-catching. In their opinion, such a person would not be able to kill Lei Chong's brother. Lei Chong's younger brother had brought 9 experts with him. Perhaps only someone at the late stage of the 4th heavenly layer or the 5th heavenly layer would be able to capture those people. The two of them safely entered Spirit Mountain. There were a lot of people inside, and the whole mountain was like a huge city. There were all kinds of pavilions, buildings, and shops. The martial artists here were also here to train, and there were even many demonic beasts walking around. Let's go find Peerless City, their stronghold here. After asking around, the two of them headed towards one of the mountains. On the other side, Lei Chong had been waiting for news. His subordinates kept sending him news. They reported one after another, but did not find any suspicious characters. They were all ordinary saints who had entered. Lei Chong frowned. How could this be? He held a jade pendant in his hand, and his eyes shone with a cold light. Suddenly his eyebrows twitched. The pendant in his hand flickered with a trace of light. He sensed that person. He soared into the sky and looked around. What's wrong, Brother Chong? The martial artists under his command were all stunned. Lei Chong said. That person had already entered the mountain. What? How could this be? The surrounding subordinates were completely stunned. We have been closely monitoring. As long as it is someone at the late stage of the 4th heavenly layer or the 5th heavenly layer, we will immediately report it. However, we have not found such a person at all. You are too careless. It may not be someone at the late stage of the 4th heavenly layer or the 5th heavenly layer. Other cultivations may also be able to do it. For example, someone who has many sacred tools in his hands. Therefore, that person's cultivation is not as high as you think. Lei Chong's voice was biting cold. He naturally knew that there were some geniuses who could fight above their level. There were even some geniuses who had powerful sacred tools in their hands. Follow me, I can find him. Lei Chong waved his hand and led the martial artists from Thunder God City to the sky. They flew quickly in the sky. This scene attracted the attention of many people. Look, those people are from Thunder God City. The leader should be Lei Chong. Tianya, what are they doing? Look at this murderous aura. Didn't you hear that Lei Chong's younger brother was killed? What? How could it be? Who is courting death? Screams rang out one after another as many people followed suit. Qiu'er, the mountaintop of Wuxia City should be in front of us. We should be able to pass the 3rd test after we hand over the East Spirit Stones. Shen Jingqiu also revealed a smile. This is great. The test is finally over. They can finally join Wuxia City. However, they stopped at this moment. This was because they realized that there were countless thunderclaps in front of them. They formed a sea of thunder and blocked their path. Damn it, who is it? They raised their heads. They saw more than 10 figures descending from the sky. They arrived near them and surrounded them. The leader was wearing a thunder robe and had a thunder sword. He had a powerful aura. The people from Thunder God City had descended and surrounded Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu. Lin Xian asked coldly, "Who are you people? Why are you blocking my path?" The surrounding martial artists were all watching from nearby, whispering to each other. Heavens, what is going on? Thunder God City actually surrounded this man and woman? Could it be that these two people offended Thunder God City? I heard that Lei Chong's younger brother was killed. Could it be that these two people did it? How could it be? The two of them were only level 3 saints. Lei Chong's younger brother had 7 to 8 saints under him. How could it be that these two people did it? Everyone was puzzled. We are from Thunder God City. One of the martial artists said coldly. Lei Chong's voice was even colder. He stared at Lin Xian. That's right, it's you. I can feel your aura. It's you who killed my younger brother. Your younger brother? I haven't seen him. Lin Xian shook his head. Lei Chong said. Don't quibble. I can feel your aura. It's definitely you. Be obedient and kneel down to accept your death. I will sacrifice your head to my younger brother. The power of thunder on Lei Chong's body was extremely terrifying. It caused the surrounding heaven and earth to rumble nonstop. Seeing that the other party was determined, Lin Xian knew that the other party should have concrete evidence. Therefore, he didn't evade. Are you saying that there are people who want to rob us from 10,000 miles away? If it's that kind of trash, that's right, it's indeed me who did it. However, are they from Thunder God City? Since when did Thunder God City become so despicable and shameless to rob others on the road? Is this how the people from Holy City do things? Lin Xian's voice clearly spread in all directions. After the surrounding people heard it, they were all stunned. Lei Chong's younger brother actually robbed others on the road? Heavens, this is too shameless. Lower your voice, do you want to die? Everyone was shocked. It was indeed shameful to do such a thing in the Holy City. The faces of the people from Thunder God City also sank. Damn brat, are you courting death? Chapter 3690. Lei Chong's expression was cold. I don't care what my brother does, it's his freedom. But if you kill him, you'll definitely die. Are you going to die obediently or resist and let me torture you to death? You can choose one. So overbearing, so arrogant. Why don't you ask your brother what despicable things he did to kill me? Since it's like this, there's nothing to say. Let's fight. Let me see what qualifications you have as an elder brother to be so arrogant. Lin Xian was also angry. Lei Chong didn't look like a good person. He wanted to use his powerful background to oppress others. However, was he that easy to bully? You want to fight me? Lei Chong glanced at Lin Xian with disdain in his eyes. The surrounding people also shook their heads. This brat was simply too reckless. He actually dared to fight Lei Chong. Lei Chong was a level 4 late-stage expert. He was also a genius who could fight those above his level. That kid was only a level 3 late-stage expert. How could he be Lei Chong's opponent? They really didn't know what method he used to kill Lei Chong's brother. It was probably a despicable method. It might be a sneak attack. These people knew Lei Chong's name. Hence, no one was optimistic about Lin Xian's chances. Sure enough, these people from Thunder God City sneered. Kid, if you didn't use despicable methods, would you be able to kill the people from Thunder God City? You want to be Brother Chong's opponent? Who do you think you are? Brother Chong, you'll kill him. A person walked out. This person was a level 3 late-stage expert. He looked at Lin Xian and sneered. Come kid, I'll let you have 10 moves. I'll make you kneel on the ground and beg for mercy with one hand. Ha ha ha. The surrounding people sneered in disdain. He didn't know what death was. Lin Xian shook his head. These people from the God of Thunder were too arrogant and haughty. Did they really think that he was a pushover? Since that was the case, there was no need for him to hold back. He took out the heavenly Luo umbrella and opened it. It froze the space and released the poison gas. At the same time, the heavenly Luo umbrella shot out a ray of light that covered him and Shen Jingqiu. It prevented them from being infected by the poison. It was done in a blink of an eye. Hence, the surrounding was filled with green mist. That arrogant disciple from Thunder City fell down. He was foaming at the mouth, twitching. His body was covered with green spots. The surrounding people were stunned at first, but in the next moment, they screamed crazily. Not good poison. Damn, I'm poisoned. What kind of poison is this? I can't get rid of it. Screams rang out one after another as more than a dozen people fell down one after another. This poison was extremely terrifying. Even a level 5 heavenly layer expert could not withstand it, let alone these people. Lei Chong's expression also changed. Damn it. Lightning interweaved on his body, forming a ball of lightning that enveloped him. However, he still underestimated this corpse poison. The corpse poison bypassed the lightning ball and directly drilled into his body. His face also turned green, and with a thud he fell to the ground, twitching nonstop. The surrounding people were all stunned. Oh my god, what's going on? That's too unbelievable. This kid is too heaven-defying. Corpse poison. There's a strong poison in this kid's body. It should be the corpse poison of a saint. No wonder he's so strong. No wonder he could kill Lei Chong's brother. The surrounding people also retreated frantically. Although the corpse poison was sealed in the space and didn't attack them, it might leak out. Once they inhaled it, even if they didn't die, they would lose a layer of skin. Lin Xian waved his hand and kept the heavenly Luo umbrella and the poison. In fact, he only released a small part of it. These people couldn't take it anymore. At this moment, these people fell to the ground and wailed. They were no longer as arrogant as before. Lei Chong kept twitching. He gritted his teeth and roared with difficulty. Damn it, you're despicable and shameless. I'm despicable and shameless? Lin Xian sneered. You have the nerve to say such words. You brought a large group of saints to besiege the two of us. You still dare to say that I'm despicable and shameless. I'm just teaching you a lesson. I'll let you know that you shouldn't be too arrogant outside. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. The way they looked at Lin Xian changed. Previously, they thought that this kid didn't know what's good for him. But now, it seemed that he was simply a ruthless character. He used his trump card right from the start and poisoned a group of experts. Damn it, give me the antidote. Lei Chong said with difficulty. He was too aggrieved. He was a top-tier genius with a body full of mystic skills. But before he could even unleash any of them, he was taken down by someone else. This was a crazy slap to his face. Moreover, he felt that he couldn't get rid of this poison. If he didn't get the antidote, he was afraid that he would die here. Lin Xian said. Antidote? Sorry, I don't have that kind of thing. You'll have to detoxify yourself slowly. After saying that, he walked forward. Damn it, Elder, save me. Lei Chong crushed a jade token. Suddenly, a roar came from the top of a mountain. Who is it? How dare you touch the people of my Thunder God City? The figure descended from the sky like a bolt of lightning and turned into an old man. His powerful aura spread out in all directions. It's a small saint. Many people's expression changed. This was the small saint of Thunder God City. Eastern Spirit World was a training ground. Countless experts of big clans and sects would train here. Therefore, they had their strongholds in Eastern Spirit World. Eastern Spirit Mountain was where the strongholds were located. Each saint city or clan occupied a mountain peak. Wushuang City was the same, and so was Thunder God City. At this moment, the elder of Thunder God City's stronghold received the distress signal and immediately rushed over. When he arrived, he almost vomited blood. What's going on? Lei Chong and the geniuses of Thunder God City were defeated. Damn it, what happened? Is there a small saint here? One should know that Lei Chong was at the late stage of the fourth heavenly realm. In addition to his powerful divine ability and trump card, he had no problem fighting against a fifth heavenly realm saint. In addition, there were so many geniuses. Therefore, in his opinion, only a small saint could defeat so many people. Elder, catch him. He's the one who injured us. Those people pointed at Lin Xian crazily. The small saint elder raised his head and stared at Lin Xian. He was stunned. How could it be? He's at the early stage of the third heavenly realm. His eyeballs almost fell to the ground. He thought for a while, but he never thought that the murderer was an early stage third heavenly realm cultivator. An early stage third heavenly realm cultivator defeated a group of experts? What a joke. He felt as if he was dreaming. However, all eyes were on Lin Xian. It seemed that this was really done by him. Damn it, what's going on? His face suddenly became gloomy. He was poisoned, and it was a very strong poison. He stared at Lin Xian. A powerful aura spread out from his body, forming a cage. Chapter 3691. Xin Jingqiu looked solemn. That aura had shocked them. Lin Xian kept the heavenly Luo umbrella above his head, and did not release any poison. The heavenly Luo umbrella was a saint weapon. It blocked the monstrous saint aura. Then he sneered. What? Is Thunder God City going to be despicable again? First, it was a group attack by more than 10 saints. Since they couldn't defeat Thunder God City, they sent a minor saint. How impressive. However, it's a little too shameless. Brat. You're courting death. The little saint let out a roar as his aura burst out, transforming into a giant hand that reached out to grab the area in front of him. This power was really too terrifying. At this moment, many people knelt on the ground, unable to stand. This was the danger of a minor saint. It was far more dangerous than them. Such a terrifying giant hand of thunder with a vast law was trying to suppress Lin Xian. Feeling a great pressure, Lin Xian's face turned gloomy. He activated the heavenly Luo umbrella and released an unparalleled aura. It was dazzling, competing with the minor saint. With a clang, the two collided. Heaven fell and earth cracked. Everyone couldn't open their eyes because of the dazzling light. Lin Xian was pushed back. The heavenly Luo umbrella was also trembling. However, it still managed to block the attack. So it's a saint weapon. No wonder you're so arrogant. But do you think you can defeat me with a saint weapon as an early stage third heavenly layer? The minor saint said with disdain. Although a saint weapon was good, it depended on who was holding it. In his hands, it was an unparalleled peerless weapon. But in the hands of his opponent, it was just SOSO. Oh really? Then try this. Lin Xian sneered. With a wave of his hand, the corpse poison in the heavenly Luo umbrella floated out and spread forward. The minor saint was disdainful at first. But when he felt the poisonous gas, his face changed instantly, and he quickly retreated. The law on his body formed a shield and shrouded him. This poison was too terrifying. It made his hair stand on end. No wonder Lei Chong and more than 10 saints were poisoned. This kind of poison was not something that they could resist. Who was his opponent? Why would he possess such a terrifying corpse poison? Elder, don't fight with him for now. Quickly save us. We can't hold on any longer. We're about to be poisoned to death. At this moment, Lei Chong opened his mouth with difficulty. The minor saint's face instantly changed. Not good. He was so focused on the battle that he forgot about Lei Chong and the others. His face turned completely ugly. Lei Chong and the others were in a very dangerous situation. If they did not expel the poison quickly, they would probably die immediately. Damn brat, hand over the antidote. He looked at Lin Xian, his eyes filled with killing intent. Lin Xian shrugged. I really don't have the antidote. You're courting death. Do you really want us Thunder God City's geniuses to die? Do you know what the consequences are? I was just passively defending. If they didn't want to kill me, how could I be poisoned? Lin Xian sneered. Your disciples' lives are important, but is my life not important? Could it be that the lives of the people in your Thunder God City are a level higher than others? Lin Xian was also enraged, and the corner of his mouth curled into a cold smile. You're courting death. The elder roared, causing the heaven and earth to tremble. He summoned his companions. Some people flew over. They were the elders of the Thunder God City. When they arrived, they were shocked. What happened? Our people are poisoned. Hurry up and save them. When the elders arrived, their faces immediately became ugly. Hurry up and save them. They quickly summoned more companions. Using eye techniques, they took out the antidote pills and cooperated with the laws of heaven and earth to expel the poison. The minor saint stood up again and stared at Lin Xian. Do you really think that this poison can fight against us? You're really courting death. Another minor saint stood out. 2 minor saints faced Lin Xian. As long as they captured him, they would be able to get rid of the poison. Not good. That brat is in danger. Although that brat has a saint weapon and poison, how could he be a match for 2 minor saints? Many people retreated frantically. At this moment, the pressure in this area was too great. They could not bear it at all. What should we do? Shin Jinqia's face was also ugly. 2 minor saints were too dangerous for them. Lin Xian did not resist. He let out a long cry. I'm a disciple of Peerless City. Now I'm being attacked by the elders of Thunder God City. I hope the elders of Peerless City can save me. His voice turned into thunder, rolling out in all directions. What? He's from Peerless City? And he's a disciple of Peerless City? Everyone was stunned. This identity was nothing in the eyes of these powerhouses. However, it was this unremarkable person who had caused such a commotion. On a mountain peak far away, a few streams of light streaked across the sky. What's going on? They looked at Lin Xian. These people were from Peerless City. Elder, I'm Lin Wudi from Peerless City. I'm here to take part in the assessment. This time, I came to Eastern Spirit Mountain to hand over the mission, but I was besieged by the people of Thunder God City. Now 2 minor saints from Thunder God City are going to attack me. What? The people of Peerless City were stunned. 2 minor saints from Thunder God City were going to attack their disciples? Isn't this too much of a bully? At the same time, an old man raised his eyebrows. You're that Lin Wudi. He was too shocked. As the elder of Peerless City, he naturally knew that a peerless genius had appeared in the assessment. His name was Lin Wudi. In the first round, he broke the record of Peerless City that had existed for thousands of years. In the second round, he took the first place and eliminated 3 of the 8 great geniuses. They were very optimistic about the third round. This person had a high chance of becoming the eldest disciple of the third generation. Now, such a person was besieged by the people of Sky Thunder City. If it was a young disciple, they could still tolerate it. After all, conflicts between the saint cities were normal. But now 2 elders of Thunder God City, 2 minor saints, were going to attack. This made them unable to tolerate it. What's going on? They landed and instantly protected Lin Xian and Xin Jingqiu. Then the old man looked at Thunder God City. What's the meaning of this? Are you going to attack our people? Don't you think it's too shameless to bully the weak with 2 minor saints? The people of Peerless City were furious. 2 minor saints. Aren't they too much of a bully? Do they really think that Peerless City is easy to bully? Damn it. Go away quickly. I'm going to capture this kid. It has nothing to do with you. The elders of Thunder God City were also furious. Now they must capture the other party and get the antidote. The people of Peerless City sneered. What a joke. How can it have nothing to do with us? This is the address of Peerless City. He poisoned more than a dozen of our saint geniuses. If he doesn't hand over the antidote, do you think we'll let him go? The few minor saints said coldly. They were really mad. What? The people of Peerless City were also stunned. They took a glance and found that Lei Chong and the other saint geniuses were lying on the ground. It was unknown whether they were dead or alive. This made the corners of their mouths twitch. But very quickly, they became wild with joy. This brat was far too awesome. Chapter 3692. They knew that Lei Chong was a top heaven's pride. Together with a dozen saints, even a 5th celestial layer expert would have to spend some effort to deal with him. But now this kid actually defeated all of them in an instant. This is simply a talent. They had to protect such a talent well. At this time, Lin Xian also said, Elder, the people from Thunder God City tried to rob us outside and were defeated by me. Then, these people refused to accept it and wanted to besiege me. In the end, they were defeated. Therefore, their elder took action. I really don't know why Sky Thunder City is so despicable and shameless. Elder, please give us justice. Hearing this, the people from Wuxia City wanted to laugh. This kid is still acting innocent after taking advantage of them. However, they had never been on good terms with Lei Shencheng. At this moment, they naturally had to protect Lin Xian. More importantly, Lei Shencheng was the one who provoked them first. First, it was a robbery. Then it was a group attack. Now it was the elders who took action. Every matter was done by Thunder God City shamelessly. You actually dared to take action against our people. Give us an explanation or compensate us. Otherwise, this matter will not end. The elder from Wuxia City said coldly. Compensation? Hand over that kid first and make him hand over the antidote. Otherwise, we will not rest until we are dead. The people from Thunder God City were also furious. More than a dozen of their geniuses were in danger. Both sides did not back down. For a moment, the atmosphere was incomparably tense. All kinds of saint auras spread between heaven and earth. A few elders from Wuxia City arrived. The smell of gunpowder between the two sides was getting thicker and thicker. At this time, Lei Chong woke up again. Old Zhang, he killed my brother. And he even killed 7 or 8 saints beside my brother. They are all the geniuses of our Thunder God City. You must take revenge. What? The elders from Thunder God City instantly vomited blood. 7 or 8 geniuses had already died in the hands of the other party. Damn it. Their eyes instantly turned red. The elders from Wuxia City were also stunned. Lin Xian said. When they robbed, they were all masked. How would I know that they were from Thunder God City? Moreover, they did not say that I would naturally be merciless towards the robbers. Hearing this, the elder from Peerless City laughed. That was indeed the case. When attacking the enemy, of course they had to use the most forceful method. You can only blame yourselves for hiding your identity. The people from Thunder God City couldn't take it anymore. Damn it, capture that brat. Several elders made their moves. The people from Peerless City snorted. Do you think we're afraid of you? In an instant, the two sides began to fight. A great battle erupted. Terrifying energy collapsed the heavens and cracked the earth, spreading across the sky. The surrounding people retreated like crazy. Their faces were filled with fear. The two elders of the great sage city began to fight just like that. And the fuse was because of a young man. It was really unbelievable. Peerless City, you're courting death. The people of Thunder God City were thoroughly enraged. This time, they had brought a lot of elders. In an instant, they had suppressed the people of Peerless City. The people from Peerless City were at a disadvantage, and their expressions were ugly. The people from Thunder God City laughed heartily. Just relying on your Peerless City. You dare to contend against our Thunder God City? Your Peerless City has only been established for a few thousand years. Your foundation is too weak. Our Thunder God's legacy is over 10,000 years old. How can you compare to him? In the distance, those people felt their scalps go numb. Indeed, although there were two great Sage City, Peerless City was a new power. There were only 2 generations of disciples in the sect. Now they were only recruiting the 3rd generation. Thunder God City was different. It was an old saint city with a legacy of 10,000 years. The disciples in the sect had already reached the 8th generation. There was indeed a gap between the foundation of both sides. For example, in the stronghold, the number of elders and saints allocated by Peerless City was not as many as Thunder God City. Therefore, they were at a disadvantage now. Obediently hand over the person. Otherwise, it'll suppress you. Your Peerless City's face won't look good. The elders of Thunder God City laughed sinisterly. The elders of Peerless City frantically counterattacked. They would definitely not let Lin Xian be in danger. Lin Xian was a good seedling. In the future, he would definitely become the disciple of the Sage King. Lin Xian's face was also cold. He activated the Heavenly Luo umbrella and shot out the remaining poison. The poison spread, causing the people of Thunder God City to frantically retreat. Only then did the pressure lessen a little. However, it was just a relief. This time, there were 3 minor saints on the other side. Under their joint attack, the corpse poison only lasted for a moment before it was torn apart. Not good. They're too strong. You guys go first. Someone come and bring the 2 of them away quickly. The warriors of Peerless City brought Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu through the void, wanting to go to their stronghold. However, they were stopped by someone. Want to go? Impossible. Stay here obediently. A minor saint unleashed a tremendous amount of law that resembled 2 gigantic dragons that swept across the battlefield. Not good. Quickly bring them away from Eastern Spirit Mountain. After receiving the order, the 2 minor saints brought Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu through the void and left Eastern Spirit Mountain. The others were in a great battle, chasing after them. In an instant, a battle broke out. Do you think you can resist? The people of Thunder God City looked ferocious. On the other side, the elders of Peerless City roared. Quickly send the news back to the Saint City and ask them to send reinforcements. In the sky, 4 streams of light streaked across. It was Lin Xian and the other 3. They left Eastern Spirit Mountain and flew towards the distance. Behind them, there were 4 streams of light chasing after them. Although they had the same number of people, they were facing 4 Fifth Heaven Saints. On their side, there were only 2 Fifth Heaven Saints. In addition to Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu, there were only 2 Third Heaven Saints. In comparison, the difference in strength was too great. Therefore, the people of Thunder God City behind them sneered. You can't escape. After flying for about half a day, they finally stopped Lin Xian and the others. The 4 of them landed and surrounded Lin Xian and the others. Well, hold on for a while. You 2 go first. The 2 saints of Peerless City gritted their teeth and said, No need. Well, stay and fight. If it's just a 5th Heaven Saint, it's nothing. Lin Xian said coldly. Shen Jingqiu nodded her head. I can hold on for a while too. At least I can hold one of them. When these words came out, the 2 saints of Peerless City were stunned. On the other hand, the people of Thunder God City laughed. Ha ha ha. What did they just hear? 2 saints of the third heaven wanted to contend with them? They were really reckless. Kid, who do you think you are? The corpse poison in your hands is gone. Without the poison gas, you dare to fight against us? You really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. If the 2 of them were afraid, it would be the poison. But now they knew that the corpse poison was completely used up. Therefore, they were not afraid of the other party. Chapter 3693. No, it's too dangerous. The 2 of you should leave quickly. The saints from Peerless City also shook their heads. They were really worried. Lin Xian insisted. Trust me. Don't talk nonsense with them. Attack. The people from Sky Thunder City roared. The 4 of them attacked. Damn it. In an instant, the battle erupted. The 2 saints from Peerless City were restrained by the 2 saints from Sky Thunder City. The other 2 from the Great Sage charged towards Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu. Can Qiuo hold on? I'll let you use the Heavenly Luo umbrella. I'll let Little White help you. But what about you, Brother Lin? Will it be dangerous? Shen Jingqiu was a little worried. Lin Xian said, Don't worry, I have a way. Reckless brat, go to hell. A middle-aged man from Thunder God City sneered. The other party had a way to deal with him? What a joke. He could crush the other party with just his cultivation realm. With a cold snort, a sun formed in his body. It was a sun formed by thunder and lightning. It carried an incomparably violent aura and pressed forward. The other person also attacked Shen Jingqiu. Shen Jingqiu shouted and instantly activated her spiritual body. Her cultivation increased greatly. At the same time, she opened the Heavenly Luo umbrella. Moreover, she took out another saint weapon. It was a purple flying sword. Little White hugged the calm pearl and was ready to attack at any time. Above Lin Xian's head, a sun of thunder kept flickering, suppressing the sky and him at the same time. Lin Xian snorted and activated the void escape. In an instant, he teleported to another place. At the same time, he took out the Great Sage Pagoda and released a strand of starry sky fire. There wasn't much starry sky fire left. Moreover, the Black Earth was at the most critical moment and would be completed soon. Therefore, Lin Xian couldn't use much starry sky fire. However, it was enough. He didn't intend to burn the other party to death with the starry sky fire. As long as he could burn the other party and scare them, it was enough. Buzz. A strand of the starry sky flame, which was the size of a palm, danced about and instantly enveloped the other party. With a blood-curdling scream, half of the 5th Heaven Sage's body was burned away. They were so scared that they fled frantically. This pitiful voice made one's scalp go numb. The surrounding sages all turned their heads to look. Their pupils shrank. How was this possible? A 5th Heavenly Layer Saint had lost half of his body in an instant. He was seriously injured. This was too inconceivable. Was this really done by this kid? The people from Thunder God City were stunned. As for the people from Peerless City, they were also stunned. The next moment, they were overjoyed. Great, this kid's strength was beyond their expectations. From the looks of it, it wasn't impossible for them to fight. Damn brat, I want you dead. That kind of injured saint rushed over. Lin Xian sneered. Do you think that with your cultivation of the 5th Heavenly Layer, you can contend against me? What a joke. The middle-aged man roared, and the magical laws on his body exploded. He performed a hand seal, and his left hand drew a divine saber that slashed down. His right hand formed a lightning dragon. At this moment, the power exploded, and heaven and earth trembled. This was a magical ability of the magical laws. It was really powerful to the extreme. At the same time, he was constantly paying attention to the appearance of that terrifying flame. Once it appeared, he would immediately escape. Lin Xian did not use the starry sky fire again. He had done enough. The flame had injured the other party, and now the other party was scared out of his wits. He used the Kuan Peng movement technique to dodge. At the same time, he pulled out the Great Destruction Spear. With a roar, endless sword chi flew out. At the same time, he activated his ocular technique and summoned the Headless Knight to fight with it. With a boom, the two collided. The sun and moon shook, and a vast ocean-like power swept through the 9 heavens. This was really too inconceivable. How was it possible? He blocked it. The surrounding sages were also stunned. Previously, they thought that Lin Xian was relying on a magical flame to be able to injure the 5th heavenly layer saint. They were not a match for him at all. However, they did not expect that Lin Xian would actually block the attack of a 5th heavenly layer saint. The other party's weapon was a sacred artifact. What was the headless knight that the other party had summoned? Why was its power so terrifying? Haha, the sage of the 5-colored sky was only so. Lin Xian laughed, his confidence doubled. You're courting death. The middle-aged man was so angry that his body trembled. Without the flame, he was still no match for the other party. This was a great humiliation. Die for me. His palms formed a seal again, transforming into a mountain of thunder. He struck with both palms, and the mountain of thunder exploded. He wanted to completely crush Lin Xian. Lin Xian activated the 9-yang divine body, and activated the Qilin tattoo at the same time. His physique was really strong at this moment. Therefore he did not dodge at all. He held the great destruction spear in his hand and danced in the wind. Dragon-shaped sword qi flew out, piercing through heaven and earth. The giant mountain of thunder was shattered into pieces. Lin Xian's body trembled as he was attacked by the endless thunder. On the other side, the middle-aged sage was also not feeling good. His face was pale, and his eyes were filled with shock. His nomological divine ability had been broken by the other party. It was too unbelievable. At this moment, the attack in Lin Xian's eyes produced a golden blade of light. It carried an indomitable aura as it slashed forward. At the same time he used his ocular technique, Spring and Autumn Lock. The middle-aged man was hit by the soul attack. His head trembled, and he almost fell from the sky. Damn it! He hurriedly defended and retreated frantically, trying to pull away. Little White! Lin Xian roared angrily. Little White appeared out of thin air, and slapped the other party's head. The other party immediately fainted. It was an ocular technique attack. The Great Destruction Spear turned into a dragon shadow and rushed over. With a valiant posture, it directly pierced through the other party. Miserable cries rang out once again. Everyone had gone crazy. He was injured again. This time, the other party did not use that strange flame, but he still injured a 5th firmament sage. Moreover, it was too fast. They were already locked in a fierce battle, but was the outcome of the battle already about to be decided? Ah! The middle-aged man screamed, his body trembling with anger. Go to hell. He was pierced by the spear, but he wanted to fight for his life. At this moment, Lin Xian shot out a ball of flame. Do you think I don't have this kind of flame? He shot out the flame. Damn it! The middle-aged man originally wanted to fight for his life, but after seeing the flame, he was scared out of his wits and immediately retreated. He even forcefully shattered his body to escape. Ha ha ha. Lin Xian looked up to the sky and laughed. This was not the starry sky flame, but the 9 suns divine flame. However, the other party had been injured by the starry sky flame before, and had long become a frightened bird. Now that he saw the flame, he was instinctively afraid. This was the effect he wanted. A 5th firmament sage was nothing more than this. Lin Xian attacked again. Ocular technique, Saint Artifact, Great Dragon Sword Soul, and Stellar Transposition allowed him to suppress the other party. In the end, the sage was directly scattered and crippled by him. He was completely suppressed by him. The remaining 3 people from Thunder God City were completely stunned. Who was this kid? Chapter 3694. Lin Xian let out a long roar. I'll help you. He went to help Xinjingqiu. Xinjingqiu was currently using her spiritual body to increase her cultivation. With the help of the 2 great sage artifacts and the Snow White monkey, it wasn't too dangerous for her to fight a 5th heavenly layer sage. With the support of Lin Xian, the 2nd sage was quickly suppressed. The other 2 sages turned and fled when they saw this scene. These 2 young men were simply monsters. The people of Peerless City chased after them with all their might. Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu joined hands and finally, the 4 5th heavenly layer sages were all suppressed. The 2 people of Peerless City felt that it was inconceivable. They looked at Lin Xian and Xin Jingqiu with strange eyes. Lin Xian didn't seem to care at all. He began to search through the 4 people's storage rings and magical treasures. The 4 sages of Thunder God City were about to vomit blood. They had never seen such a robber. Moreover, the other party was a young genius. Wasn't this too heaven-defying? The people of Peerless City were all smiles. They had picked up a treasure. This Lin Xian was really a genius. But soon, they stopped smiling and frowned. The situation was very dangerous. Although they had won, they guessed that the situation at Eastern Spirit Mountain must be very tragic. There were too many small saints in Thunder God City. It was difficult for them to deal with them. Couldn't they provide support? Xin Jingqiu asked. If we can provide support, so can Thunder God City. After all, they have a rich foundation. Moreover, Eastern Spirit World had a certain limit. It was impossible to provide support without limit. The other forces would also not agree. At Eastern Spirit Mountain, the battle was unusually fierce. The people of Peerless City were completely suppressed. Many of them were even injured. The people of Thunder God City were very ferocious. They vented all the anger in their hearts on this battle. At this moment of crisis, a figure descended from the sky. Thunder God City, are you bullying Peerless City? Accompanying this was a loud and clear voice. The people from Peerless City raised their heads and revealed joyful smiles. The people from the Thunder God City also looked over. Very soon, they were stunned because they discovered that only one person had come. Did he think that he could contend against them with just one person? He was truly courting death. Is there really no one else in Peerless City? Only one person was sent to reinforce them. Thunder God City's side was filled with disdain. The surrounding onlookers were also completely stunned. Heavens, what's going on? Could it be that what Lei Shenqing said was true? Was Peerless City going to be completely defeated? I alone am enough. The person who landed said in a deep voice. His eyes were shining with confidence. Hongye, be careful. The sages of Peerless City gathered around. The newcomer was a young man, Fu Hongye. As soon as he arrived, he walked out with a red maple leaf in his hand. On the red maple leaf, a terrifying flame flickered and danced. The red leaf flew out, soared into the sky, and slashed forward. He was courting death. On the other side, the people from Peerless City were enraged. A mere youngster dared to make a move against them? He was courting death. Kill. A middle-aged man sneered and struck out a terrifying thunder. It turned into a long river and slashed down from the sky, trying to cut off the red maple leaf. Boom. Boom. The onlookers were all experts. Although their eyes couldn't see it, their souls could clearly see it. Boom. Through the perception of their souls, they could see that the lightning river had been cut in half. Although the red maple leaf wasn't big, it was incomparable. In an instant, it arrived in front of the middle-aged sage. Then, the flames on the red maple leaf danced, forming a huge fire that enveloped the sage. Ah! A miserable cry was heard. The monstrous fire burned the sage, making him look extremely miserable. One move, and a sage was injured. Everyone was going crazy. This young man was too terrifying. On the other side, they rushed over again. This time there were 2 of them. Fu Hongye struck out another 2 red leaves. One of them had a long sword drawn on it, and the other had a long saber drawn on it. The saber and sword were struck out at the same time. Boom. 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 The 2 sages vomited blood, and were sent flying. This scene was really too shocking. Everyone couldn't believe it. This young man was too terrifying. Each leaf could injure a saint. Just who was this person? Damn it, who are you? The people of Thunder God City roared crazily. The man in white said proudly, I'm Fu Hongye. What? It's you. Everyone was stunned. They didn't know the name Fu Hongye. He was the top genius of Wushuang City, the eldest disciple of the 2nd generation. His strength was so strong that it made people look askance. You're Fu Hongye. An old man stood out. Kid, go away quickly and let your elders do it. You're not strong enough. This old man was a minor saint. Fu Hongye was powerful, but it seemed that he didn't take him seriously. There's no need for the elders to do it. Fu Hongye's eyes were filled with strong confidence. So what if the opponent was a minor saint? He really didn't take him seriously. You're courting death. The old man was angry. A dignified minor saint was being looked down on by a junior? Fine, I'll see how powerful the top disciple of Wuxia City is. Buzz. Heaven and earth trembled, and thunder rumbled. The minor saint made his move. He formed a seal with both hands and formed the thunder god's wings, which swept over. It was like two heavenly blades that could destroy heaven and earth. This was a powerful divine ability of the thunder god. At this moment, when it was used by a minor saint, it made everyone's scalp tingle as if they were going to be cut in half. In the face of such a terrifying divine ability, Fu Hongye was fearless. His black technique was flamboyant, and his white clothes were dazzling. He was abnormally calm like a fiend god. With a snap of his fingers, another red leaf appeared in his hand. There was a moon drawn on the red leaf. The red leaf flew out and faced the attack. The moon soared into the sky. It was like a sacred moon on the sea. This was a strange phenomenon of heaven and earth, which shocked everyone. The terrifying moon spun in the sky like a millstone that could destroy the world, directly crushing the thunder god's wings. The two divine abilities collided in heaven and earth. Terrifying energy filled every inch of space. Everyone retreated crazily. It was too terrifying. The moon shattered the thunder god's wings. The old man was shocked. Impossible. The others also went crazy. Fu Hongye was too strong. He could even suppress a minor saint. Go to hell. The minor saint rushed forward. Fu Hongye also roared and charged forward. The red leaf in his hand kept attacking. Every time, it was accompanied by a powerful divine ability. Suddenly, a red leaf shot out and froze the minor saint in midair. Damn it. Confinement red leaf. Break. The old man kept attacking the void, trying to break free. In the sky, another two red leaves came at him. They turned into two giant dragons and attacked his body. The old man vomited blood and was sent flying backward with a frightened expression. The others were also in an uproar. Chapter 3695. Fu Hongye was really too strong. Was he the top genius of Wuxia City? He was too terrifying. Those experts of the older generation were extremely terrified. Could it be that Fu Hongye was also a minor saint? No one dared to imagine because it was too unbelievable. Fu Hongye said, Thunder God City, do you think there's no one in Wuxia City? He directly charged over. You're courting death. In addition, the people of Thunder God City were also furious. They joined forces to take him down. A great battle broke out again, but this time, with Fu Hongye's participation, they were really powerful to the extreme. Not long after, another minor saint was injured. The people of Thunder God City quickly retreated. The people of Wuxia City charged over, especially Fu Hongye, who took the lead. Not long after, the third minor saint was injured, and the rest of the saints fled back to their own mountains. However, it was not over yet. Fu Hongye went straight to the mountain and killed in all directions. It was simply too unbelievable. Everyone went crazy. He killed his way to the enemy's stronghold alone. Moreover, he had swept through all four directions. He was simply a demon king. The people of Wuxia City were extremely excited. Their Fu Hongye usually looked as gentle as a jade, but when he really fought, he was really crazy to the extreme. A great battle broke out. The law above Thunder God City's stronghold spread, and heaven and earth trembled. It was a terrifying scene of destruction. However, not long after, the entire mountain lit up with countless formations. The mountain peak was sealed. Oh no, they're going to seal the mountain. They must be preparing to summon people to attack Fu Hongye. The people of Wuxia City were also furious. They quickly attacked the formation. However, the formation this time was not so easy to break. For a moment, they were extremely anxious. They could only prepare to ask for help again. The others also felt their scalps tingle. It was over. Fu Hongye was sealed inside. She was in danger now. Yes, no matter how strong Fu Hongye was, he was only one person. He killed his way into the enemy's stronghold alone, and was now sealed by them. If Thunder God City summoned more experts from the Saint City, Fu Hongye would definitely be in danger. For a moment, everyone on Dongling Mountain was talking about it. Outside Dongling Mountain, Lin Xian and the others had subdued 4 people from Thunder God City. At this moment, a sage from Peerless City received news of the array formation. Great, our people are here. The people from Thunder God City were defeated. Defeated? We can go back now. These people rose into the air, ready to return. Not long after, they returned to Dongling Mountain. But as soon as they went up the mountain, they felt that the atmosphere was not right. There were discussions everywhere, and from the looks of it, one of the mountain peaks had been completely sealed. What's going on? They hurried back. The elders of Wuxia City said, "Oh no, Hong Yi was locked inside. What's going on? Wasn't the crisis already over?" Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu were also surprised. Even the 2 sages who were following him were equally puzzled. Fu Hongye had come and wounded 3 minor saints on her own. Furthermore, she had slaughtered her way through the enemy's forces. The attack directly hit the mountain peak of the other party, sweeping across a large area. However, these people from the Thunder God City were truly too despicable. They actually sealed the mountain. And from the looks of it, Hong Yi was trapped inside. Those people must have summoned some strong cultivators. Fu Hongye was in danger. Hearing this, Shen Jingqiu and Lin Xian were completely stunned. What? Could it be that Fu Hongye was the only one who came? Lin Xian was even more shocked. He had seen Fu Hongye before. Naturally, he knew that she was the eldest disciple of the 2nd generation. But he did not expect Fu Hongye to be so powerful that she could injure 3 minor saints on her own. Moreover, she had slaughtered her way to the enemy's stronghold. How powerful was that? But now she was trapped. No, senior brother Hong Yi is in danger. We have to go and save him. Lin Xian was anxious. The elders also said that we are also preparing to recruit more people, but it will take some time. Moreover, we are also breaking the formation now. Once the formation is broken, we can kill our way in and Fu Hongye can come out. Not good, elders. Our formation has been destroyed. At this moment, an anxious voice came from a mountain peak in the distance. What? The expressions of the elders of Wuxia City instantly changed. Someone has destroyed our formation. Who is it? I don't know. It should be the people of Thunder God City, who did it secretly. Now our people can't teleport here. This time, the expressions of Lin Xian and the others completely changed. This was terrible news. If that was the case, Fu Hongye would be in great danger. Damn it, let's fight it out. Let's kill them. The eyes of the elders turned red. Fu Hongye was too important to Wuxia City. They could not afford to lose her. Elders, you guys break the formation. I'll go outside and look for something that might be of help. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and said, this matter started because of him. He could not just stand by and watch. What are you looking for? The elders of Wuxia City asked. Lin Xian said, let's not talk about this first. I'll try first. You guys should hurry up and break the formation. Chiu, or you stay here. I'll give you the Heavenly Luo umbrella and the Great Destruction Spear. You can break the formation together. Brother Lin, what about you? You don't have any sacred weapons. Shen Jingqiu was worried. Don't worry, I'll stay with Little White. I still have the Soul Fixation Pearl and other trump cards. After Lin Xian finished speaking, he rushed into the sky. He was indeed going to do something. He was going to look for something. Lin Xian had 2 killer saint bees in his hands. The thing he was going to look for was the nest of the killer saint bees. In other words, a beehive. If he could get the Peak King, there would be countless killer saint bees. If he could get this thing and throw it on the mountain peak of Thunder God City, then it would be enough. Of course, this matter was very difficult to do. It could even be said to be impossible. However, Lin Xian still planned to give it a try. He took out the black earth from the Great Sage Pagoda. At this moment, the black earth had completely evolved into a sacred weapon. Its power had greatly increased. The black earth turned into a flash of light. Its speed was extremely fast. The speed of a Saint Artifact Spirit boat was truly incomparable. The Starry Sky Fire was exhausted. Otherwise, Lin Xian could use the Starry Sky Fire to tear open the seal and kill his way to the mountain peak. By controlling the 2 killer saint bees in his hands, Lin Xian finally understood where their nest was. After flying all the way, he finally arrived in the vicinity. Lin Xian saw through the heavenly secret god eyes that this area was basically filled with killer saint bees. They covered the sky and the earth. It was very terrifying. He took a deep breath. Damn it, there were so many killer saint bees. Even he did not dare to take this risk. He could not subdue them one by one. He guessed that although the killer saint bees were powerful, they were bees after all. Since they were bees, they followed the same rules. In other words, there was a queen bee in the hive. It was the queen bee. If he could control the Peak King, the other killer saint bees would all listen to his orders. Thinking of this, Lin Xian decided to take a gamble. Chapter 3696. Sitting in the black earthly, he sent his soul out of his body and his heavenly fate god eyes into the killer wasp. Lin Xian had taken over the body of the killer wasp. Is not equal to he wanted to use the killer wasp to sneak into the hive and control the wasp king. Buzz buzz buzz. The controlled killer saint bee took off with the wind and quickly flew into this area. Very good. No one was paying attention to it. Lin Xian successfully entered the hive. The killer wasp needed to provide food, so Lin Xian had already prepared the top-grade flower pollen. He wanted to hand over the food. Sure enough, he got the chance. When it came in front of him, Lin Xian's heart was in his mouth. The killer bee queen's body was huge. It was like a person. The other killer wasp kings were only the size of a finger. The difference between the two was like heaven and earth. When the killer wasp king was absorbing the pollen, Lin Xian finally exploded. His heavenly secret divine eyes, along with his powerful soul power, launched his strongest attack. Boom! The killer wasp king was enraged. With a roar, the entire hive shook violently. Thousands of killer wasp kings outside rushed in crazily. Their eyes were red. Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. If he failed, he would be torn to pieces by these killer wasp kings. But fortunately, his physical body was not here. Only his soul had entered. His soul had already entered the killer wasp king's body. When the killer wasp kings entered, they could only see the irritable killer wasp king. They could not find anyone. Their faces were full of doubts. Lin Xian was in the killer wasp king's mind. He was trying to take over the killer wasp king's body. If he succeeded, he would have an army of killer wasp kings. However, this was obviously impossible. The killer wasp king was very powerful. Although it was attacked by Lin Xian, it was impossible to completely take over the killer wasp king's body. Lin Xian could only take a step back. Then he could only temporarily suppress the killer wasp king's soul. The killer wasp king would listen to his orders temporarily. This way it would be much easier. However, it was only easier than taking over the body. It was truly thrilling to the extreme. If he wasn't careful, it was very likely that his soul would be destroyed. Fortunately, Lin Xian's soul spirit was strong, and this time he had brought along the heavenly secret god eyes. Therefore, after expending all of his soul and using his eye technique, he finally managed to suppress the queen bee's soul. The soul of the queen bee fell into a deep slumber. He finally succeeded. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. However, his heavenly fate god eyes had dimmed. Lin Xian was also extremely weak. It seemed like he wouldn't be able to use his eye technique for the time being. However, he was overjoyed. His heavenly secret divine eyes were only weakened, but not injured. He was now in control of the queen bee. Soon there were fluctuations. Don't worry, it's nothing. It's just that the pollen doesn't suit my taste. Lin Xian released a spiritual fluctuation, and the surrounding killer saint bees instantly calmed down. He gave the order again. Gather everyone and enter the beehive. Follow me to attack the enemy. Great queen bee, what enemy? The killer saint bees were all stunned. A few of them were obviously elder-level bees. Their faces were full of shock. The queen bee said. The pollen this time was poisonous. What poison? Those killer saint bees were completely enraged. Their eyes turned red again. Who was it that wanted to poison their queen bee? In an instant, they stared at the little bee. It was the one that carried Lin Xian's soul. However, Lin Xian's soul had already left. That little bee was a puppet. At this moment, it felt an incomparably powerful saint aura. It trembled and its body cracked. Lin Xian continued. It's already under my control. I've also searched its soul, and found out that the mastermind is actually someone from Thunder God City. They actually wanted to frame me. Since that's the case, we have to teach them a lesson. What? It's actually Thunder God City. Those elders who were killing the killer saint bees were also stunned. This was a saint city. So what? Another elder said. They've gone too far. Do they really think that we're easy to deal with? Moreover, this was the East Spirit world, not their Thunder God City. Queen Bee, don't worry. We'll gather everyone and kill them all. Soon sound waves spread out, and all the killer saint bees returned to the hive. The entire hive soared into the sky and turned into a stream of light, rushing outside. Whitey drove the black earth and slowly followed from afar. Two streams of light, one in front and one behind, flew towards East Spirit Mountain. At this moment, everyone on East Spirit Mountain was in an uproar. The people from Peerless City had already started attacking the mountain, triggering countless laws. Heaven and earth were shattered. It seemed that Peerless City had really gone crazy. Of course, Fu Hongya was very important. They didn't need to tell them how he was doing now. He was probably in danger. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't beat so many experts from Thunder God City. It was very likely that he was seriously injured and captured. Everyone was discussing fiercely. They hadn't seen such a scene for hundreds of years. They didn't expect to see it today. Suddenly, someone screamed. Look, what's that? They all turned their heads to look and saw that in the distance, there was a stream of light coming over, accompanied by a loud sound. It was like thunder, very dull. Are those dark clouds? No, damn it, those are bees. Someone screamed. What bees? Everyone's eyes shone with a cold light as they looked into the distance. In the next moment, their scalps went numb. Killer bees. These are killer saint bees. In the sky, there was more than one. There were tens of thousands of them. Damn it, don't tell me they're out in full force? What? Everyone on East Spirit Mountain went crazy. How is that possible? What happened to these killer saint bees? One had to know that the killer saint bees were extremely terrifying existences in the East Spirit world. No one dared to provoke them in the area they were in. Even some powerful beasts didn't dare to set foot in their territory. When these bees went crazy, they would kill anything in their way. Usually, everyone was in awe of the killer saint bees, so they had always been peaceful. However, they didn't expect the killer saint bees to come out in full force this time. What are they trying to do by coming to East Spirit Mountain? East Spirit Mountain is the territory of the human race? Why are these beasts attacking the human race? Everyone screamed crazily and ran away. Some even picked up their weapons to defend themselves. Some people's bodies were filled with laws as they turned into streams of light and fled into the distance. In short, they didn't dare to stay. The people of Peerless City were also stunned. It wasn't a good thing for the killer saint bees to come out in full force at this time. They didn't have much energy to care about these things now. Elder, what should we do? Should we run? The people of Peerless City were pale. Although they were the experts of Sacred City, they couldn't resist so many killer saint bees. Chapter 3697. The elders of Peerless City had ugly expressions on their faces. Damn it, are these demonic beasts crazy? Why did they come at this time? They couldn't escape. Hongyi was still inside. They had to break the array to get Hongyi out. These people continued to stay here and attack the array. Under their intense attacks, cracks had already appeared in many places and the array would soon shatter. However, their faces soon turned ugly, as they realized that a swarm of killer saint bees was heading in their direction. Damn it, they wouldn't be attacking us, right? The people of Peerless City kept retreating. Xinjingqia was also worried. How is Brother Lin? Is there any danger outside? She had the heavenly Luo umbrella above her head, and the great destruction spear in her hand. Qiu'er, don't be afraid. It's me. At this moment, Lin Xian transmitted his voice to Qiu'er. Xinjingqia was stunned when she heard it. Then she started to look around. Qiu'er, don't look around. These killer saint bees were brought by me. They won't attack you. Hurry up and tell the elders. After Shinjingqiu heard it, she quickly whispered, Elders, they are here to help us. Don't worry. The elders were shocked and uncertain. It's true. Shinjingqiu said that Brother Lin was the one who brought them. What? Lin Wudi? That brat, how could he have such ability? These people were stunned. They couldn't believe it. However, they realized that when the killer Saint Bees came near, they didn't attack them. Instead, they attacked the array frantically. They heaved a sigh of relief. Great. They are here to help us. Those killer Saint Bees had red eyes. As they attacked the array, they emitted a terrifying soul fluctuation. Damn Thunder God Chung! How dare you frame our killer Saint Bees? We will fight you to the death. We will take down Thunder God City and make them pay a painful price. A terrifying soul fluctuation resounded between heaven and earth. Everyone was stunned. What's going on? How did Thunder God City provoke this group of bees? The people of Peerless City laughed. Haha, the heavens are helping us. Thunder God City, let's see how you will die this time. Thunder God Mountain. Because this mountain was the stronghold of Thunder God City, it was named Thunder God Mountain. At this moment, there were countless thunder gods in the mountains. Lightning crackled around their bodies as though they were a group of thunder gods. Surrounding a single figure tightly. They surrounded Fu Hongye tightly. Damn brat, you're too arrogant. They were so angry that they were gnashing their teeth. At this moment, there were already many injured figures on the ground. Blood had dyed the mountain red. To be honest, they were incomparably furious and felt humiliated. Because no one had ever dared to attack their stronghold. Now he was the first one. Furthermore, he was beaten up by a single person. What was even more detestable was that this person was not an expert of the older generation. He was just a second-generation disciple of Wuxia City. The formation flashed, and even more Thunder God Realm experts appeared. They surrounded Fu Hongye and sneered. I admit that you're strong, but you're too arrogant. This is not a place where you can behave atrociously. No matter how strong you are not a match for us. The newly arrived saints were brimming with killing intent. They were indeed angry. If their reinforcements were not in place, the entire mountain would probably be taken down by the other party. Although Fu Hongye was surrounded by so many experts, he was not afraid at all. He stood there with his hands behind his back and looked in all directions. Reinforcements are here? So what? Let's see how you're going to fight me today. As he spoke, another red leaf appeared in his hand. Wherever he looked, those people were so frightened that their eyelids twitched. Although they were angry, they had to admit that this Fu Hongye was really too strong. A single leaf from the other party could transform into tens of millions of spells. It made their scalps tingle. Don't be afraid, he's just bluffing. He's definitely waiting for Wuxia City's reinforcements. Let me tell you the truth. Your Wuxia City's formation has already been destroyed by us. Besides, we've already sealed the mountain. Do you really think they can break in? So today is the day you die. These people quickly surrounded him. Don't talk nonsense with him. Countless people attacked. Terrifying divine abilities covered the sky and earth as they controlled Fu Hongye to attack. Fu Hongye raised his head and roared. Behind him, the illusion of a huge maple tree appeared. The red leaves on the tree fluttered like the sunset. As it swayed, it brought with it a terrifying law. Fu Hongye attacked aggressively. Every leaf brought with it a flower of blood. There were saints who were constantly vomiting blood, and were sent flying. Damn it. I don't believe he can withstand the force of 10,000 lightning bolts when we work together. The people of Thunder God City roared crazily. They combined to form a suppressive law. All the laws overlapped and attacked continuously. Fu Hongye's face turned pale, and he vomited a few mouthfuls of blood. However, his eyes were brighter. The red leaf in his hand was even more terrifying. At this moment, a shattering sound was heard between heaven and earth. It was as if a mirror had fallen to the ground. Then the formation of the entire mountain range began to split apart. Not good, our formation is broken. The people of Thunder God City screamed. What are you afraid of? They can't send over the experts. At most, those people will come. If they come, we'll kill them all. The small saints of Thunder God City roared crazily. Their eyes were red. They must kill this Fu Hongye today. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to rest in peace. Eastern Spirit Mountain. Previously, those warriors fled in panic because of the arrival of the killer Saint Bees. However, when they ran far away, they found that the killer Saint Bees didn't start a massacre. Instead, they attacked Thunder God Mountain. This made them breathe a sigh of relief. They quietly returned to take a look. Soon, they saw that the formation was broken and countless killer Saint Bees rushed in. Oh God, are these killer Saint Bees helping Wuxia City? These people were stunned. Let's see what's going on. They raised their heads and looked over. At the next moment, they saw that on the mountain peak, there were so many experts of Thunder God City besieging a person. It was a person in white clothes. Although his body was stained with blood and his shoulder was injured, his eyes were incomparably bright. Moreover, every time he attacked, a saint would fall. There were many corpses under his feet. The entire mountain peak was dyed red. The killer Saint Bee was still fighting. He was not dead yet. Instead, he became more and more courageous as he fought. Everyone went crazy. This was simply a miracle. This killer Saint Bee was really too powerful and terrifying. Thunder God City had kicked an iron plate this time. Yes, a killer Saint Bee was already so difficult to deal with, let alone a sky full of killer Saint Bees. Everyone was excited. The people of Thunder God City were disdainful at first. With so many experts rushing over, so what if the other party broke the formation? He was just coming to die. However, when the formation was really broken, they were stunned. Because the first to enter wasn't the people of Wuxia City, but the sky full of killer Saint Bees. They were so dense that they covered the entire sky. These people all stopped and looked at the sky with a stunned expression. Chapter 3698. Even Fu Hongye stopped what he was doing. He raised his head to look at the sky with a strange expression in his eyes. Killer bees? And there are so many of them. What's going on? Are these killer bees trying to start a war with the humans? At this moment, a killer bee elder in the sky said coldly, Thunder God City, despicable and shameless. You want to use poison to harm our king. Today, we will fight you to the death. Everyone listened to my order and attacked the people of Thunder God City. As the cold voice fell, the eyes of the killer Saint Bees turned red. As if they had gone mad, they turned into streams of golden light and began to attack. The people of Thunder God City below screamed. Many of them were pierced and some of them were poisoned. They were in a miserable state. This scene was like hell on earth. When the people in the distance saw this scene, they went crazy. God, this is too unbelievable. These killer bees are really attacking Thunder God City. Fu Hongye was stunned. What's going on? At this moment he received a voice transmission. Senior brother Hongye Im Lin Wudi. These killer bees are summoned by me. Hurry, let's go. I can't control the killer bee king for too long. The killer bee king was stunned. Then a smile appeared on his face. Lin Wudi. So it's him. He understood. With a long roar, he rushed through the crowd and tore the void apart. He flew down the mountain. The people of Wuxia City were waiting for him at the foot of the mountain. At the same time, Lin Xian continued to control the killer bee king and gave out orders. The war between the killer bees and Thunder God City began. The sages of Thunder God City were all attacked. Many of them were stung until their heads were full of bumps. These were not ordinary bees. Every one of them could pierce through their bodies. Even if they didn't die, they would be seriously injured. Moreover, their foundation might be damaged. Of course, there were also many killer bees that died. In short, both sides were in a frenzy. In the end, the people of Thunder God City couldn't hold on anymore. At first, they wanted to call for more reinforcements to help them. However, they realized that although the reinforcements had arrived, they had angered the killer bees. Therefore, they could only change their strategy. Run. Use the teleportation array to leave. Ka. These people took the teleportation array and wanted to leave. But at this moment, the teleportation array let out a cracking sound as cracks appeared. There was a missing material in the formation, and there was a gap. Who was it? Who dares to destroy our array formation? These people were in despair. Without the array formation, they would not be able to teleport away. What would be waiting for them next? This was the crazy revenge of killing the Saint Wasp. They didn't dare to imagine the consequences. In their panic, they saw a little white monkey holding a corner of the array formation and traversing through the void. Damned Hosey! Give me back my formation. Motherfucker, I want rest until you die. I swear that from now on, I will only eat monkey meat. These people screamed crazily, but there was nothing they could do. The little white monkey was too fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Without the formation, there was no way to teleport. Their fates would be extremely miserable. Sure enough, these people from the Thunder God City instantly received a counterattack. Since there was no way out, the eyes of these people from the Thunder God City had turned red from the killing. Each and every one of them were roaring as if they had gone crazy. Kill. They clashed with the killer Saint Bees. After another half a day, Lin Xian finally couldn't control it anymore. He felt that the soul of the Wasp King was recovering. He gradually couldn't suppress it and sighed. He knew that it was time to leave. Lin Xian's soul rose into the sky and left the Wasp King's body. Then he flew down the mountain. His speed was extremely fast. In almost an instant, he arrived at the foot of the mountain. At the foot of the mountain, those people from Wuxia City were anxiously waiting. Especially Shen Jingqiu. She was very worried about Lin Xian's safety. Finally, she saw Lin Xian's soul flying back. She immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Big brother Lin here. She waved her hand to greet him. Lin Xian entered the black earth and fused his soul with his body. In the next moment he walked out. Let's go, this is not the place to talk. After my soul leaves, the Wasp King's soul will soon awaken. At that time, he will definitely be exposed. Lin Xian called a group of people and quickly left. They returned to Wuxia City's stronghold. But sure enough, not long after they arrived, an earth-shattering roar came from the Thunder God Mountain. A terrifying aura spread throughout the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Damn it, what's going on? Everyone was terrified. The Wasp King woke up. But when he woke up, he was so angry that he vomited blood. Shouldn't he be in the hive absorbing pollen to cultivate? Why did he come to the Thunder God Mountain? And there was a huge battle? His descendants and subordinates beside him. Why did so many of them die? Stop right there. The Wasp King kept roaring. The people from the Saint Wasp King's side quickly stopped and instantly gathered beside the Wasp King. On the other side, the people from Thunder God City also stopped. Their faces were cold and everyone was injured. They also gathered together and confronted the Wasp King. You killed the Saint Wasp King. Do you really want to fight to the death with our Thunder God City? Don't forget, our Thunder God City is the sacred city. If you provoke us and we send out a super saint, you won't be able to bear it. Do you think we're afraid of you? This is the Eastern Spirit Staircase, our territory. Those Saint Wasp Kings are also full of killing intent. The Wasp King didn't say anything. He really couldn't understand what was going on. Suddenly, he remembered that his soul had fallen into a deep sleep. Moreover, it was when he was eating the pollen. Damn it, he was ambushed by someone. Moreover, he was tricked. This made him roar in his heart. Who was it? Who was using him? He was extremely angry. This time, they had also suffered heavy losses in attacking the Thunder God Mountain. There were many corpses on the ground. He wanted to find the culprit like crazy and tear him into pieces. But when he thought of the possibility that there was another sacred city behind this, he hesitated. If they were to fight again at this time, their losses would be even greater. At that time, they would anger the 2 sacred cities. Even if they were heaven and earth variants and were powerful and fierce, they couldn't bear such consequences. Therefore, he could only suffer this loss. Moreover, he couldn't tell anyone. Otherwise, as a king, it would be shameful for him to be ambushed by someone else. This matter ends here. Both sides can't fight anymore. The Wasp King gave the order and left with the Saint Wasp Kings. Those people from the Thunder God City were so angry that they vomited blood. What the fuck? Ridiculous. They didn't provoke this group of Saint Wasp Kings at all. But such a big battle happened for no reason. Could it be that it was Wuxia City's ghost? It was very possible. Damn it, When did this group of Saint Wasp kings ally with Wuxia City? When they thought of Wuxia City, these people from the Thunder God City gnashed their teeth in anger. Their losses this time were really too heavy. A single Fu Hongya was enough to make them badly battered. On top of that, the attack from the Saint Wasp kings really made them suffer heavy losses. Damn it, this matter can't be let go like this. Repair the array formation. We will definitely take revenge for this. These people's eyes were red as they started to repair the formation. Chapter 3699. On the other side, laughter could be heard from Wuxia Mountain. That's great. The people from Peerless City were incomparably excited. Although they also suffered losses this time, compared to Lei Shuncheng, it was simply not worth mentioning. Of course, it was all thanks to two people. One of them was Fu Hongya. If it wasn't for him, they would have been seriously injured. The other was Lin Xian. If it wasn't for Lin Xian, the situation would have been worse. Junior brother, thank you so much. Fu Hongya smiled as well. He was very satisfied with this junior brother of his. Lin Xian smiled. Senior brother, you're too polite. I came here to join Wuxia City. In the future, I'll be in the same sect as everyone. Oh right, we haven't completed the third mission yet. Suddenly, Lin Xian thought of something. Xinjingqiu said too. Yeah, the array is broken. Can we still go back? Don't worry, we've been repairing the array. I'll be done soon. Even if we can't fix it, we can testify that you two came here first. Wuxia City's array was discovered in time. Therefore, it was easier to fix it. It was done in a day. Thunder God City might have to put in some effort. What Whitey stole was the core of the array. It wouldn't be easy to fix it. Let's go. Fu Hongya stood on the array. He called out to Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu. The three of them took the array and left. When they appeared, they were already back in Wuxia City. Senior brother Fu, how was it? In Wuxia City, the martial artists from Wuxia City were also very anxious. Previously, they had received a call for help from Dongling Mountain. Later, they realized that they couldn't teleport. They thought that the array there was broken. They were very anxious. Fortunately, Fu Hongya came back at this time. The matter has been resolved. Fu Hongya said, alright, these two fellows are here for the third mission. Because of some matters in our stronghold, they should have arrived 5 days ago. Record this down. I can bear witness to this. Yes, senior brother, we understand. The disciples of Wuxia City quickly recorded it. At the same time they said, congratulations, you have successfully passed the third stage. Go and rest first. I'll make the announcement after the third stage is over. However, I am here to congratulate the two of you on passing the test and becoming disciples of our Wuxia City. Although the third test was determined based on time, there was still a time limit. That would be 1 month. If they couldn't come out after a month, they would be eliminated. At that time, they would go in and bring those people back safely. Thank you, senior brother. Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu cupped their fists, and then they went to rest in a nearby palace. The two of them sat down and began to recover. In the following days, the two of them were very relaxed. From the time the two of them entered the third stage until they came out, it took a total of 15 days, which was half a month's time. Actually, the two of them could have come out in 10 days, but because of the previous battle, they were delayed for 5 days. Even so, he was still the first to come out. Of course, Xinjingqiu knew that it was because of Lin Xian's help. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to come out so quickly. Moreover, Lin Xian was her husband. She naturally wanted to help Lin Xian become the first. After another 5 days, which was the 20th day, another figure appeared. The person who appeared was Shui Tianqin. After he came out, he realized that there was no one around, and he was very excited. That's great. Could it be that he was the first? Because he didn't see Di Ling, nor did he see Lin Xian. After him, it was Shi Bufan and Wang Xiaofeng. They didn't take long to come out. They all came out within a day. Shi Bufan saw that Shui Tianqin came out before him, and he frowned. Damn it, did this person surpass him? This made him a little unhappy. Wang Xiaofeng was very excited because she liked Shui Tianqin very much. She looked around and saw that it was only Shui Tianqin. She exclaimed, "Could it be that you are the first?" "I don't know. But when I came, I didn't see anyone else." Shui Tianqin's voice was trembling. Because he was too excited. If he could become the first in the third round, it would be an unparalleled glory. Really? Wang Xiaofeng was also very happy. Shi Bufan frowned. It shouldn't be. Where's Di Ling? Where's Lin Wudi? Did they not appear? To be honest, these two people were stronger than them. Shui Tianqin also said that maybe the two of them met inside and had a big battle. Indeed, Di Ling had always been hostile towards Lin Xian. They knew this. And there was also Yu Qinya. Perhaps a world-shaking battle had broken out, and both sides had been injured. Therefore, the speed of collecting the East Spirit Stones slowed down. If that was really the case, then they were really lucky. You guys come with me to rest. With Wu Shuangcheng leading the way, Shui Tianqin and the others were very excited. They came to a palace nearby. When they opened the door and entered the palace, they were stunned, because they saw two people inside. They were very surprised to see Lin Xian and Xin Jingqiu. Shui Tianqin's face instantly turned ugly. He thought he was the first, but he didn't expect it to be so. Because someone obviously came earlier than them. And it seemed like it wasn't just 1 or 2 days earlier. Lin Wudi was here. Then would Di Ling be far away? He looked around. But he found that there was only Lin Xian and Xin Jingqiu in the palace. There was no one else. Just the two of you? Wang Xiaofeng also asked in disbelief. Xin Jingqiu nodded. Yes, it's just the two of us. Brother Lin was the first to arrive. Hearing this, Wang Xiaofeng and the other two sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Wudi was the first again? It was unbelievable. It seemed like Xin Jingqiu was the second. Then what about Di Ling? Where was Di Ling? Could it be that he hasn't come out yet? They couldn't believe it. Lin Xian said. I don't know where that guy is. Anyway, I haven't seen him yet. It was unbelievable. Shui Tianqin and the others were stunned. Di Ling didn't come out again and he came after them. Could it be that there was an accident inside? They didn't know. Wang Xiaofeng, Shi Bufan and the others were shocked. Shui Tianqin smiled bitterly. But thinking about it, third place wasn't bad. Because under normal circumstances, if Di Ling and Guili both participated, he might not be able to get third place. But unexpectedly, Di Ling didn't come out this time, and Guili didn't participate at all. Of course, there was Lin Xian and Xin Jingqiu, these two dark horses. Especially Lin Wudi, he was first in 2 rounds. It seemed that he was also first in the third round. First in 3 rounds, then he would definitely be first in the final round. He would be their chief disciple in the future. Chapter 3700. Shui Tianqin and Shi Bufan couldn't believe it. All this time, they had thought that Di Ling would become the chief disciple. Or if there was an accident, it would be ghostly. But they didn't expect it to be neither of them. It was a newcomer who had just risen. As a woman, Wang Xiaofeng was more meticulous. She knew that it had become a reality and it couldn't be changed. So she came to Shui Tianqin and said, Shui, we have to change our attitude. We will be disciples of Wushuang City in the future. Then Lin Wudi will be the head disciple. We have to have a good relationship with him. At least we can't be enemies with him. Shui Tianqin nodded. Don't worry, Sister Feng, I know. He wasn't a fool. Besides, Lin Wudi had won first place with his strength. He didn't dare to have any hostility. Shi Bufan was the same. They sat down cross-legged and began to recover. In the following days, more and more people came. More and more people came, but they still couldn't see Di Ling's figure. They couldn't believe it. Did something really happen to Di Ling inside? And there was another person who didn't come out. That was Yu Qinya. Yu Qinya was also one of the 8 great prodigies. He was very strong and had recently broken through. Di Ling and Di Ling didn't come out. Could it be? They looked at Lin Wudi. Was there a battle between them? Lin Wudi won? Or was he attacked by a demon overlord inside? Of the 2 outcomes, they were more inclined towards the second one. because they couldn't believe that Lin Wudi could resist the joint attack of Di Ling and Yu Qianye. Even with Shen Jingqiu, it would be a draw at most. But now Di Ling and Yu Qianye's life and death were unknown. The others also noticed it and started discussing among themselves. Many of them looked at Lin Xian with fear in their eyes. Finally, a month's time was up. More than 3,000 people entered, but less than 500 people successfully passed. The others were all eliminated and were listed as honorary disciples. There were also some who felt their scalps go numb. Di Ling and Yu Qianye didn't come out? God, it was too unbelievable. They didn't even have honorary disciples. They were directly eliminated. Everyone was in an uproar. They now knew that Di Ling and Yu Qianye were only able to enter because they received an additional condition, which was that if they succeeded, they could become disciples of the holy city. Once they failed, they would be eliminated and disqualified. It could be said that this was a great risk. However, no one believed that Di Ling and Yu Qianye would fail. Even if he couldn't get first place, it would be too easy for him to pass the third stage. But now? Their minds were in a daze. These two people had actually been directly eliminated. Did this have anything to do with Lin Wudi? They didn't really know. In the following time, the people from Wushuang City began to teleport into the East Spirit World to search for those people. Everyone came back one after another. When they found out that they had been eliminated, they were all dejected. 3 days later, Di Ling returned. When everyone saw the Imperial Mausoleum, they couldn't believe it. At this moment, Di Ling's complexion was deathly pale. There was blood on his body, and his clothes were tattered. It was clear that he was seriously injured. What was going on? Why was the Imperial Mausoleum in such a sorry state? What exactly happened? They didn't expect that such a powerful Di Ling would be in such a sorry state. In Water Sky City, Wang Xiaofeng, Shibufan, and the other sky prides were even more shocked. Indeed, something had happened inside. But what was it? Was he being chased by beasts? Previously, they thought that it was because of Lin Wudi, but Lin Wudi had already come out. Therefore, it should be because of beasts. At this thought, they heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that Di Ling was unlucky to have met a powerful monster sage. Shen Jingqiu was also suspicious. However, Lin Xian revealed a cold smile. Others didn't know, but he naturally knew. This wasn't because of beasts but because of Li Hongxiu. Back then, Di Ling didn't know what was good for him. He sneaked up on him and Li Hongxiu. Therefore, Li Hongxiu chased after him. Who was Li Hongxiu? She was able to leave calmly in front of the 3 grand demons and obtain the heavenly treasure. Her strength was definitely beyond expectations. She chased after Di Ling. How could Di Ling have a good time? Di Ling was probably lucky that he was still alive. After Di Ling came out, his face was gloomy. He looked around the hall and soon fixed his eyes on Lin Xian. The murderous aura on his body was about to explode. Everyone's scalp went numb. Lin Xian sneered. Di Ling no longer had the ability to compete with him. Di Ling had been eliminated. As for him, he was the first in 3 rounds and would become the 3rd generation's chief disciple. The difference in status between the two was like a chasm between heaven and earth. If Di Ling dared to attack, Wushuang City wouldn't agree. Sure enough, when the Wushuang City's martial artists felt the murderous aura of hostility towards Lin Xian, their faces darkened. One of them said coldly, "Di Ling, know your place. You are now a loser. Hurry up and recover. We will send you away when the time comes." These people's voices were cold. A loser, no matter how dazzling and talented he was in the past, they still wouldn't take him to heart. Damn it! Di Ling gritted his teeth. These people dared to treat him like this. He swore that he would make these people regret it. He retracted his gaze from Lin Xian. He knew that now wasn't the time to take action. However, he swore that one day, he would personally trample on Di Ling and make him suffer a fate worse than death. After finding a place, Di Ling began to recover. More and more people were brought back. There were also some people who didn't return. It seemed like these people wouldn't be able to come back. Currently, most of them were found. Some of them were missing. It seemed like they had met with an accident. A Wushuang City's martial artist said in a deep voice, "You can start to recover now. 3 days later, I will send you away." As for those who haven't returned, our martial artists in Eastern Spirit Mountain will continue to investigate. What? The remaining people had met with an accident? Everyone was in an uproar. Shui Tiancheng and the others also took a deep breath. What about Yu Qinya? Yu Qinya hadn't returned either. Could it be that he had met with an accident? If that was really the case, then it was truly earth-shattering news. Yu Qinya was one of the 8 great geniuses, and the young master of the Rain clan. His identity and status were extraordinary. The fact that he had been eliminated was already shocking enough. Now that he was missing, wouldn't it be even more shocking? The Rain clan probably couldn't take it, and would go berserk. Many people present looked at Lin Xian. Because Yu Qinya and Lin Xian were enemies, some people even looked at Di Ling, wanting to ask if he knew the whereabouts of Yu Qinya. However, whether it was Di Ling or Lin Xian, they weren't to be trifled with. They didn't dare to ask. Some people also remembered that there was a piece of news in the Eastern spirit world about the despicable and shameless Yu Qinya. They didn't know what had happened to Yu Qinya. Chapter 3701. Some people guessed that he probably encountered a powerful demon saint, and was killed directly. Only Lin Xian knew that the other party couldn't have come back, because he killed him with his own hands. Of course, if he didn't say it, no one would know. 3 days passed slowly. At this moment, the final day had finally arrived. In the starry sky, the huge projection of the 9 heavens was still there, emitting a terrifying aura. There were many martial artists around. They were all waiting patiently at this moment. It should be about time. Yes. I've already received news that the final result will be out in a day or 2. These people were even more excited. Among them, many people had already begun to congratulate in advance. Spirit Sealing Star was crowded with people and carriages. Several elders of Spirit Sealing Star were surrounded in the center. Around them were the elders of other families or families. Congratulations, Taoist friends, your Di Ling will definitely get first place this time. The chief disciple will definitely be yours. I hope that Taoist friends will help us in the future. I just got a piece of divine metal here. I hope that Taoist friends won't refuse. I have an ancient book here that records a powerful ability. I hope that Taoist friends won't dislike it. These people had already begun to give gifts. If they could get on the good side of Spirit Sealing Star at this time, they would be able to soar in the future. These elders of Spirit Sealing Star were flushed with joy and laughed loudly. Well said, well said. As for the gifts, they accepted all of them, because they were full of confidence. Di Ling would definitely get first place. Of course, it wasn't just them. For example, there were some powerful people around Demon's heart. After all, the representative of Demon this time was Ghostly. Even if he wasn't as good as Di Ling, he was definitely the second best. Regarding this, the people of Demon Star were also full of confidence. There was another place, and that was the Rain clan. At this moment, the Rain clan was very high profile. Our young master Qinya will definitely be able to enter the top 5. That was for sure. If he was lucky, he might even be able to enter the top 3. Everyone also saw Yu Qianya's performance. Although he was suppressed by others previously, his potential was unparalleled. For a time, many people also gathered on the Rain clan's side. I have an ancient book here. I hope that Taoist friends won't dislike it. This is my granddaughter. I'll give her to young Master Qinya as a concubine. She's very good at serving people. Everyone began to give him treasures, and some even gave him women. The elders of the Rain clan were also extremely excited. Did they see that? This was the strength of their Rain clan. Apart from the Spirit Sealing Star, the Fiend Star, and a few other powerful forces, who else would dare to contend against the Rain clan? Don't worry, my Rain clan will definitely remember you. The elders of the Rain clan laughed heartily. He collected all the gifts. In addition, other families such as the Shui family, Shi Bufen's family, and Wang Xiaofeng's family all received congratulatory gifts. The astrals were the same. At this moment, quite a few people from the spirit race had come as well. Naturally, there were also countless people who came to congratulate him. After all, Xin Jingqiu had gotten second place in the first round. Presumably, the last two stages would also be very dazzling. The people of the spirit tribe were also very happy. If their holy maiden could enter Wuxia City, it would be a great help to the spirit tribe. With Qiu Er's talent, she would definitely be able to enter the top 5. She might even be able to enter the top 3. Yes, with her result in the first round. She might even be able to compete for the position of the chief disciple. The elders of the spirit tribe were beaming with joy. However, the others, such as Ling Lianhua and the others, were extremely jealous. Damn it, if the other party successfully entered the holy city and obtained a top ranking, then from then on, they would be completely trampled under the other party's feet. They would never be able to make a comeback. Of course, they didn't dare to go against the other party now. Ling Lianhua's father's expression was also cold. At this moment, he suddenly said that the holy maiden had successfully entered the holy city and had a heavenly talent. Her future husband must be chosen properly. Yes, didn't the rumors say that she had a husband before? I don't think that's true. Who is that kid? How could he be worthy of our holy maiden? When this topic was brought up, many people agreed. They also felt that a person from the first astral realm was worthy of the holy maiden. However, there were also some people who frowned. They couldn't say that. That Lin Wudi couldn't be underestimated. Don't forget that he obtained first place in the first round, and even broke the record. This also attracted the support of many people. They could see that Lin Wudi's talent was extremely good. His future achievements were limitless. Ling Lianhua's father sneered. So what? It's just the first round, there are many restrictions. Do you think that Di Ling will let him go in the second and third round? Comparing that kid and Di Ling, who's stronger and who's weaker, don't you know? He's indeed a genius, but what if he's crippled by Di Ling? Once these words were spoken, many elders became silent. Indeed, although Lin Wudi showed that he was a peerless genius, his current strength might not be strong. It was impossible for him to be stronger than Di Ling. If Di Ling were to make a move, there was a possibility that the other party would be defeated or even seriously injured. Seeing that everyone was silent, Ling Lianhua's father sneered. That's why that kid doesn't have any hope. He might even be eliminated. Don't forget that he not only provoked Di Ling, he also provoked the Rain clan. A smart person wouldn't provoke so many terrifying clans at the same time. Once these words were spoken, even those elders who had always supported Shen Jingqiu nodded. That's right, with Qiu Er's status and talent. She must marry the chief disciple. That's right, it's best if she can marry the second-generation disciple. For example, Fu Hongya. In this way, our spirit clan will definitely be worry-free for 10,000 years. Everyone, don't be so short-sighted. Not only Wuxia City, but holy cities can also form marriage alliances. For example, marrying peerless geniuses from other holy cities. In short, we have to make a good choice for the saintess. These people discuss fervently. At this moment, the old ancestor of the spirit clan said that this matter shouldn't be made public. Everything should wait until the final result is out. After all, he was an old fox who had lived for countless years. He had thought of all possibilities and naturally wouldn't say anything in advance. The others actually wanted to hug Lin Xian's thigh, because Lin Xian's performance in the first round was indeed extraordinary. However, after looking around, they realized that Lin Xian seemed to be alone. He didn't belong to any force or sect. Hence, everyone could only give up. Such a genius wouldn't be able to achieve great things without a solid foundation and a solid backing. Look, there seems to be movement above the 9 levels of heaven. Someone exclaimed and countless gazes looked over. In the next moment, they saw a huge array flickering in the sky. It was so bright that they couldn't open their eyes. Thank you for your monthly votes. Recommendation votes. Thanking users for their companionship is the longest confession. It'll always reward with you. Users scattered all over the ground. Wounded reward. User. Sunset gift. User Mu reward. User Whirlwind reward. User Buy reward. User Monthly reward. User Sunset gift. User Sunset gift. User Baby May reward. User Sunset gift. User Guangdao reward. User am like this. Are you marrying me or not? User Chuan reward. User Wanxiang reward. User Sir Su reward. Chapter 3702. After a long time, the light disappeared. Soon everyone saw it. They came out. They came out. That's right, they saw the disciples who were taking the test again, as well as the people from Peerless City. They knew that the test was over. The final results were out. That was Water Sky City, right? So handsome. Countless people screamed. There was also Shirbufan. He was too heroic. Another group of people cried out in surprise. That was Shun Jingqiu, the holy maiden of the spirit race. Her beauty was unparalleled. Countless male martial artists screamed. To be able to marry such a person, their lives were worth it. Indeed, the current Shun Jingqiu was like a fairy, making countless people look up to her. Over at the Rain Clan's side, their faces were gloomy. One of them even snorted coldly. This person's figure was graceful, but she wore a veil, so her face could not be seen. Actually, she was Wuxia. It was just that because of the previous matter, she did not have the face to appear in front of everyone. Therefore, she could only bring a veil over. Originally, she was also a proud daughter of heaven, the pearl of the second star realm. Her limelight was not inferior to Shinjinkius at all. But now, she could only cover her face and stand here unknown. As for the other party, he was once again dazzling, making countless people chase after him. This disparity was really too great. It made her unable to accept it at all. Don't worry, Shirchia. Let them be arrogant for a while. After Qianya comes out, it will be our Rain Clan's turn to shine. Lin Wudi and Shinjingqiu cannot be compared to us at all. Those Rain Clan elders were full of confidence. The other party was powerful, but so what? Their Qianya was even more dazzling. Thinking of this, these Rain Clan elders began to search. They wanted to find their young master Qianya. But after looking around, their expressions were stunned. What was going on? There was no young master Qianya? How was this possible? They carefully searched 3 times and discovered that there was no young master. Yushichi's body trembled. Could it be that her brother failed? She could not accept this matter. The elders of the Rain Clan were similarly unable to accept this. Even the surrounding families and sects that were sending gifts, and the martial artists that wanted to hug Qinya's thigh were all stunned. What was going on? It couldn't be a mistake, right? How was this possible? The Rain Clan elders hurriedly denied. Apart from our young master Qinya, Di Ling and Ghostly did not come out. Could it be that you also suspect the Imperial Mausoleum? Everyone looked around and found that indeed, they didn't see Di Ling and Ghostly. Thinking of this, they heaved a sigh of relief. Di Ling, that was absolutely impossible. Since Di Ling didn't appear, it meant that Yu Qianya and Di Ling were together. Perhaps he was an even more core disciple. It was possible that he would be chosen as the disciple of the Sage King. When these words were spoken, the crowd went into an uproar. The eyes of the Rain Clan's elders once again erupted with astonishing radiance. There was indeed such a possibility. Ha 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 ha. They raised their heads and laughed. If they, Yu Qianya, became the Saint King's disciple, they wouldn't be able to compete with the holy maiden of the spirit race. They could easily trample the others under their feet. At the thought of this, the martial artists from the surrounding clans who were trying to cozy up to him became even more excited. This was a golden thigh, and they had to hold on to it tightly. On the other side, the people from the Fiend Star and the Spirit Sealing Star were the same. They didn't see Ghostly or D Mausoleum. However, they also guessed that he might be directly accepted as a disciple of the Sage King. They were extremely excited. In a short period of time, these 3 great powers caused countless people to raise their eyebrows and go crazy over them. Hurry up and hug the thighs of the 3 great clans. They all rushed over. The people from the spirit race frowned. It couldn't be. Could it be that he was really accepted as a disciple of the Sage King? Damn it. How could they be so lucky? There was no other way. D Mausoleum and Guili were too talented. They were the top 2 of the 8 great geniuses. But what did this Yu Qianya have? Damn it. Could it be that he's more powerful than our holy maiden? These people were so angry that they gritted their teeth. They couldn't accept this at all. At this time, the old ancestor of the spirit race said, "What are you all panicking for? Calm down and wait for the results to be announced." Although he said that, he was also nervous in his heart. If someone really became the disciple of the Sage King, their identity would be too dazzling. They would be able to compete with everyone else. "Alright, silence." At this time, an elder from Wuxia City came out and said loudly. His voice spread out in all directions. Everyone quieted down. Countless gazes looked up at the sky, waiting. After 3 rounds of examination, the final results were out. Now it was time to announce it. A total of 498 people passed the examination and became the disciples of Wuxia City. They will be the 3rd generation of disciples of Wuxia City. The rest will temporarily be in-name disciples. Once they pass the examination, they will become official disciples. Now I will announce the official disciples. As he said that, the names were read out one by one, resounding through the sky. For those whose names were read out, a person in the sky stood out and looked around. Below, endless cheers and sounds of envy erupted. "Did you see that, my son? That's my son." A middle-aged man roared to the sky, tears flowing down his face. The surrounding people were envious. "Congratulations, Patriarch Hai. Yes, the Hai family will soar into the sky from now on." The others were incomparably envious. "Ha ha ha ha, my grandson is really good." Someone laughed loudly. Even though the first rankings were the last, so what? They were already disciples of the Holy City. Once they stepped into the Holy City, their identities would change dramatically. Therefore, how could these people not be happy? Moreover, it was truly a case of a man ascending to the heavens. As long as someone entered the Holy City, their family would immediately be looked upon highly. Countless forces and cultivators would want to follow them and hug their thighs. For a moment, everyone was envious. "Damn it, why hasn't it been my grandson's turn yet? The prodigies of our family will definitely be able to enter." These people gritted their teeth and clenched their fists, listening carefully. In the sky, one figure after another stood out. Those families and sects cheered when they appeared. Those whose names did not appear were waiting. They knew that there was still hope. However, when more than 400 names were read out, many of them were in despair. Their names were already so close to the front. Could their prodigies get it? They were very doubtful. In other words, were they eliminated? For a moment, sighs could be heard. Many people cried in despair. Of course, there were also some families who took a deep breath. They were very confident in their prodigies. Perhaps they would be able to enter successfully and even get a higher ranking. Of course, most of them were onlookers. These people were not assessed by their families, so they were here to watch the show. Hurry up and announce who the first few names are. Chapter 3703. Yes, I think it must be Di Ling. It might be Gui Li. Didn't they all become disciples of the Sage King? These people were too excited. Amongst them, the elders from the Rain Clan, the Demon Star, and the Wind Spirit Star all looked as if victory was within their grasp. What was there to panic about? They would definitely be the last ones to appear. At this moment, the elder from Wuxia City stood up once again and said in a clear voice. Next, it was the core disciples' turn. There were a total of 72 core disciples, and the quota was fixed. However, only 49 people had successfully passed the test and become core disciples. Next up was the core disciples' turn. Although they were all disciples, core disciples and ordinary disciples were completely different. It was like the difference between heaven and earth. Core disciples were the geniuses that Peerless City would focus on nurturing in the future. Any family that had someone become a core disciple would definitely be extremely excited, and the scene would be even more spectacular than before. 7th place, Yang Hao. A loud voice rang out as Yang Hao walked out with a glimmer in his eyes. Although it was only 7th place, he was already very satisfied. Before this, he had only been a chapter. Previously, he had already instigated discord and obtained the agreement of many family elders. That was Lin Xian didn't have the right to be with Shen Jingqiu. As long as he continued to make a fuss about this, he would definitely be able to obtain the agreement of all the elders. However, if Shen Jingqiu insisted on choosing Lin Xian, all the elders would oppose it. This way, the Holy Lady and the spiritual tribe would clash. This was the result he wanted, so he stood up again. Qiu is our Holy Lady, and she has obtained second place. This means that her husband is definitely a powerhouse whose name resounds throughout the world. He isn't someone that any random person can be. Yes, that's right. Lin Wudi doesn't have the right to be with our Holy Lady. This time, all the elders agreed. Even the spiritual race's old ancestor didn't say anything. First place was Lin Wudi. What a joke. Gui Li and Di Ling hadn't appeared yet. How could it be Lin Wudi's turn? Perhaps Lin Wudi had already been crippled by Di Ling or Yu Qinya. The others were also discussing who was first. Some people even said that there might not be first place, but 3 personal disciples. The news spread wider and wider, and finally, everyone believed it. Could it be that Di Ling and the other 2 had really become the disciples of the Sage King, and were above all the core disciples? Thinking about this, the Rain Clan's people were very happy. Their faces were filled with excitement. Great! From today onwards, their Rain Clan would be one of the top great clans. Even in the entire second star dimension, they would be an extremely terrifying existence. My backend crashed during the day, so I couldn't update it. Chapter 3704. The people of the Fiend Star and Spirit Sealing Star were the same. They raised their heads and waited for the final result. Countless people were envious. They knew that from now on, these 3 forces would really soar. In the sky, the elder of Wushuang City stood out again and said in a clear voice, "The first place is." Speaking of this, he paused for a moment and looked in all directions. As for the people below, they craned their necks, and their hearts almost jumped out of their chests. First place Lin Wudi. When this voice came out, everyone was stunned. Their minds were blank and petrified. No one could believe their ears. Before this, they had hundreds of guesses. For example, they guessed that Di Ling would be first. Or it might be Gui Li. Later on, they guessed that there was no first place. There were only 3 direct disciples of the Saint King. But now, when they got the result, it was completely different from their guesses. There was a first place, and the first place was someone they did not expect. Lin Wudi. This was too unbelievable. After a long period of silence and petrification, someone finally screamed. Then everyone was in an uproar. The entire world was filled with all kinds of noises. Some were excited, some were surprised, and some were puzzled. There were even people who roared at the sky. How was this possible? How could Lin Wudi be first? The person who roared was an elder of the Rain Clan. He had already gone crazy. That was the enemy of their clan. How could the other party achieve such a dazzling result? In the sky, the elder of Wushuang City said in a deep voice. What was impossible? Lin Wudi was first in all 3 tests. He deserved to be first in the assessment. Not only that, but he also became the chief disciple of the 3rd generation disciples. When this news came out, there was another uproar. Chief disciple. This identity card was too important and too dazzling. It was above all the core disciples. One had to know that there was only one chief disciple in each generation. The first generation Linghu Chuexue, and the 2nd generation, Fu Hongye, were extremely terrifying existences. Now the chief disciple of the 3rd generation had limitless achievements in the future. How was this possible? If he was the chief disciple, then what about Di Ling? The people of Spirit Sealing Star could not hold it in anymore. It was still acceptable for them to let Di Ling take first place. After all, Di Ling could become the personal disciple of the Sage King. He was not in the rankings. However, if he were to become the head disciple, they would not be able to accept it. There was only one chief disciple, and the other party had become the chief disciple. Then what was their imperial mausoleum? That's right. Where's our ghostly? Why hasn't he appeared yet? The people from the Fiend Star also stood out and questioned in a cold voice. The Rain Clan's people also stood out. Where is our young master Qinya? Wasn't he already a direct disciple of the Sage King? Why wasn't he qualified to be the head disciple? Questioning voices rang out one after another, and the others also held their breaths. That's right. What the hell is going on? They need an explanation. The people of the Spirit clan were also stunned. That little brat was actually first. Their faces were filled with disbelief. At this moment, they felt as if someone had ruthlessly slapped them in the face. Previously, when their holy daughter had obtained second place, they had been incomparably excited. Some people had even suggested that Lin Wudi wasn't qualified to be their holy daughter's husband. But now Lin Wudi was ranked first, and was even the chief disciple. This identity was even more dazzling than their holy daughter. Such a person, was he really not qualified? They didn't think so. Hence at this moment, their faces were incomparably ugly. There were even many elders who were shocked. This was impossible, especially the elders of the Spirit Lotus clan. What was going on with this little brat? Although his talent was great, his strength wasn't strong. How could he obtain first place? I don't believe it. There must be a problem. Not only them, the surrounding people were also stunned. They really needed an explanation. In the sky, the elders of peerless cities' faces also sank. What? Are you all doubting our peerless city? We don't dare to doubt, but we want to know where our genius imperial mausoleum is. That's right, and our ghostly. Our young master Wuxia, where is he now? The elders of Peerless City spoke. Who told you that Wuxia had already become the Sage King's direct disciple? As soon as these words came out, it was like 10,000 claps of thunder, causing the Rain Clan's people to be stunned. Their young master Wuxia didn't become a direct disciple? How was that possible? Damn it, the difference was really too big. They were previously praised to the skies, but now, they fell from the clouds to the ground. This was simply unacceptable to them. Impossible, Wuxia didn't become a direct disciple, but he wasn't in the rankings. What was going on? Could it be that he was eliminated? Thinking of this, the Rain Clan's people felt like their brains were about to explode. They simply couldn't accept this fact. The surrounding people were also in an uproar. No way, could it be that only Di Ling and Ghostly became direct disciples? For a moment, many people looked at the Rain Clan with strange eyes. Even those who saw the treasure before felt extremely regretful. They wished they could slap their own mouths. Damn it, the item was already given out. But did it really cause a misunderstanding? They should still hug Di Ling and Ghostly's thighs. Who told you that the Sage King had accepted a direct disciple? In the sky, the elders of Peerless City spoke again, causing everyone to be stunned. This time's examination only accepted ordinary and core disciples. The Sage King's direct disciples would be selected again in the future cultivation. This time there were no direct disciples. When this news spread, the people of 9 heavens 10 earths were stunned. There were no direct disciples. This was too inconceivable. Then what about Wuxia? Di Ling and Ghostly? Everyone couldn't believe it. The Rain Clan's people were stunned. The people of Fiend Star and Spirit Sealing Star were also roaring crazily. Our genius? Where is our genius? Silence. In the sky, the Peerless City Elder spoke in a deep voice. A terrifying sage might spread throughout 9 heavens 10 earths. All the rankings had been completed. Those who were not ranked were disqualified and had been eliminated. What? Those who were eliminated? Everyone went crazy. Many people directly fainted. On the Rain Clan side, many elders vomited blood. On the Fiend Star and Spirit Sealing Star side, their faces were also pale and on the verge of collapse. Their young master Wuxia was eliminated? Damn it. That was impossible. Di Ling and Ghostly were eliminated? How could this be? We don't believe it. The Fiend Star's people roared. The Spirit Sealing Star's people snorted coldly. There must be a problem. Where is our young master Wuxia? The Rain Clan's people also roared. Said the elder of Wuxia City. Di Ling didn't come back in time for the third test, and was eliminated. Ghostly was eliminated in the second round, and was considered a nominal disciple. After half a year, he could participate in the examination again. Chapter 3705. When the news came out, the surrounding people went crazy. Di Ling was really eliminated, and Ghostly was also eliminated. Wasn't this too unbelievable? To be honest, these people felt like they were dreaming because anyone could be eliminated. But how could these two people be eliminated? They were the top two of the 8 geniuses, and they were the two most likely to become the eldest disciple. But now, not only did they not become the eldest disciple, they did not even become a disciple of Peerless City. They were eliminated directly. Impossible. We don't believe it. The people of Spirit Ceiling Star roared crazily. Where is Ling? We want to see him. Yes, where is Ghostly? We want to see him too. The people of the Fiend Planet said. They felt that this matter was too strange. Ling, come out. In the sky, the elder of Peerless City waved his hand. From the crowd behind, a figure walked out. At this moment, Ling was no longer in a sorry state. The clothes and armor on his body had been changed, but his face was still pale. After he walked out, he did not say a word. It was Ling. Countless people screamed. The people of Spirit Ceiling Star also felt their hearts sink. Ling was such an arrogant person. He was usually brilliant, like a god of war. However now, the other party's aura was too weak, his expression ugly, making their hearts sink to the bottom of an ancient land. It was very likely that he was really eliminated. Ling, tell us how you were eliminated. Otherwise, others will think that Peerless City is unfair. Ling's face was extremely ugly. How could he bear to admit his miserable experience in front of everyone? However, he did not dare to go against Peerless City now. With Peerless City's strength, it was very easy to kill him. He could only obediently cooperate. He took a deep breath and said helplessly, in the 3rd stage, I was chased and did not have time to collect the East Tombstone. Chased? Chased? Everyone's hearts trembled violently. The Imperial Mausoleum was so terrifying, but it was actually being chased by someone from the beginning to the end. He did not even have time to collect the East Tombstone. This was too shocking. The people of Spirit Ceiling Star were also stunned. They did not expect it to be like this. If it was any other reason, they would not believe it. But if it was this one, then it could really be explained. Ling was powerful, but he was only an early 5th heavenly layer saint. There were many more who were more powerful than him. Moreover, they knew about the East Spirit World. There were all sorts of powerful beings and disciples of the Saint City training there. Perhaps Ling was really unlucky and provoked some heaven-defying existence, and was being hunted down. Ah. Everyone sighed. Ling's luck was really bad. That's right, he was simply unlucky to the extreme. Who knew what kind of expert he had provoked? Do you think his pursuit has anything to do with Lin Wudi? Everyone quietly looked up at the sky. In the sky, the most dazzling person standing at the front was Lin Xian. His body shone with boundless light as he accepted the worship of the crowd. Previously, everyone had different opinions about Lin Xian. They thought that he was talented but weak, and that he would need hundreds or thousands of years to grow. But now the other party had proven that not only was he talented, he was also strong and had become the eldest disciple of the Shi clan. Did Lin Xian tamper with the Imperial Mausoleum's elimination? They did not know. Ling's matter had been explained clearly. As for Ghostly, he was now an in-name disciple, and was still cultivating in Wuxia City. Hence, he could not come over. Hearing this, the people of the Demon Star sighed. However, there was still hope for him to become an in-name disciple. In other words, Ghostly could still become a disciple of the Saint City in the future. This made them slightly concerned. However, someone stood out and asked in a deep voice, I want to know, how did Ghostly get eliminated? Ghostly challenged Lin Wudi in the 2nd round and lost. He was eliminated. The elder of Wuxia City spoke. Everyone was shocked. The eyelids of the people of the Demon Star twitched. Did he lose to Lin Wudi? Ghostly could not beat Lin Wudi. The others were also in an uproar. Lin Wudi was too strong. They now had a deeper understanding of Lin Xian's terror. Wait, that's not right. At this moment, the people of the Spirit Ceiling Star stood out. They said that Ghostly was eliminated and became an in-name disciple. Why would our Imperial Mausoleum be disqualified after being eliminated? Wasn't this a little too unfair? That's right. The surrounding people were also in an uproar. This was indeed a problem. Everyone discussed spiritedly. The elders of the Rain clan said, That's right, Where is our young master? Where is he? When was he eliminated? Alright, I'll explain it to you. The elder of Wuxia City spoke. He was eliminated because he lost twice. Actually, it was not the third round. In the second round, Di Ling was eliminated and became an unnamed disciple. What? Di Ling was eliminated twice. Everyone was shocked. Di Ling was the #1 genius of the 8 great geniuses. How strong was he? He had actually been eliminated twice. Who was so powerful? The elder of Wuxia City said. In the second round, Di Ling also challenged Lin Wudi but lost and was eliminated. In the same situation, Yuqinya challenged Lin Wudi and was also defeated. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Wudi. It was Lin Wudi again. This Lin Wudi was too heaven-defying. Not only did he defeat Guili, but he also defeated Di Ling and Yuqinya. These were 3 geniuses of the 8 great geniuses. What was going on in the second round? Everyone wanted to know. However, how could the people of Wuxia City reveal the details? If you feel that it was unfair, you can ask all the participants and see if they said it was fair. When these words came out, everyone became silent. That's right. If Wuxia City was really unfair, there would definitely be people who jumped out. However, no one objected. This meant that the process was absolutely fair. If they lost, it meant that their strength was inferior. Although they did not want to believe it, it was the truth. It was an unchangeable truth. The faces of the people from Spirit Sealing Star were extremely ugly. Their geniuses had actually lost twice. It was really too shameful. Di Ling was also trembling. On the other side, the people of the Rain clan were also dumbfounded. They were so angry that they vomited blood. That damned Lin Wudi, how could this be possible? They really did not expect that the young master they were so proud of would be defeated in the second round. One had to know that before, they had imagined that their young master could kill his way into the top 3, and even get first place to become the eldest disciple. Later on, they even imagined that their young master could become the Saint King's disciple. But now their young master had actually been defeated. This was no longer a slap to the face. This was a ruthless kick to their hearts. They could not believe such a huge contrast. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.